story opens in a room in a residential building, where Chen Yuan is looking at his phone screen and crying. The reason for his tears is the text that his girlfriend sent him. She is breaking up with him. He asks her, "What's wrong?" all of a sudden while crying. He texts her and promises to work hard and give her a happy life. But she blocks him before he sends his message. He lies over the chair like a dead person. His roommates do not know what is happening to him and call him to play a game, but he ignores them and runs outside. Seeing his strange behavior, they think it is another case of a breakup. It is the 6th time this month he has faced a breakup. On the street, people look at him and start whispering about him. They know Chen Yuan as a famous dog licker. Chen is here to meet the girl who just broke up with him. Her name is Shutong. She tells him not to behave like this in public as everyone is watching them. He tells her he knows she is angry with him. So he has brought her favorite guava pork. He asks her to forgive him and not mention the breakup again. He will change whatever is wrong with him. People around them look at them and laugh at him while whispering about him. One tells the other that he has heard that Chen works 4 part-time jobs to buy her gifts, yet he has still been dumped by her. Shutong tells him that she is not angry. Her ex-boyfriend came to patch things up with her. After thinking a lot, she felt that he needed her more. Chen gets angry and asks her what she thinks he is. He says that her ex is a scumbag. He asks if she has forgotten that he cheated on her and made her have an abortion. While he is yelling at her, a Mercedes stops by them. It's Shang's ex. He tells her to get in the car. Before getting in, she tells Chen that it would be better for them not to meet again. She does not want her boyfriend to misunderstand her. She leaves with her boyfriend while Chen stands there, watching them drive away. Chen throws the food in the dustbin and goes into a convenience store. He picks up a water bottle from the shelf and starts drinking it. He wonders why his heart is always betrayed, and if he will be a dog licker for the rest of his life. He angrily crushes the bottle and decides that there is nothing wrong with being a dog licker. Suddenly, he gets a notification that the most vigorous dog licking system has detected the host. A screen appears in front of him, showing his biodata and stats. He is surprised to see the dog licking system and wonders what the plug-in is used for. Unintentionally, he touches the breasts of a girl standing before him. She yells at him, calling him a pervert, and asks if he wants to get his hands dirty. She says he has been staring at her boobs for a while and asks what's wrong with him. The system starts showing the girl's data. Her name is Zul Lil. The system informs him that with the help of the dog-licking system, if the woman's favorability towards the host exceeds 95 points, the counterattack will be successful, and her identity will be transformed into the host's licking dog. Now he realizes that the dog-licking money worth 90 billion can only be used to spend on women. He is also told that when the opponent becomes the host's dog, 10 of the amount spent will be rewarded to the host's account and become the host's personal property. The host can also get other rewards. Chen decides to use it on the girl in front of him. He smiles and tells her not to be mad at him and that he will pay for her meal today. The system successfully binds their dog-licking relationship. His mission is to counterattack Zul. The reward for completing the task is 10 of the dog-licking gold and 5 strength points. These strength points can strengthen the host's physical attributes, including physical fitness, mental strength, and agility. Zul Lil is the flower of the art department. She is powerful, and once made a man spend 30,000 yuan on her with just 3 words. Zul smirks at him and asks if he wants to play rich and flirt with her. The people around them look at Chen and think he is in trouble. Chen smiles and says she will know if he is good if she tries it. She says she wants to treat all her classmates in the canteen to snacks today and asks him to help her pay for them. She thinks he is dressed like a beggar and is still trying to flirt with her. She will let him know what it means to be embarrassed, but she is stunned when he transfers 50,000 yuan to her account. People around them are shocked. They think that this guy looks like a loser, but he is a hidden rich kid. Chen says that 50,000 is not much for him. He smiles and asks her if he can add her on WeChat. Zul is still struck and wonders if that guy is a rich second generation. So, she decides to play along. She tells him not to worry and that it is not impossible to add WeChat, but he has to come with her to a place. Chen is getting sweaty, as no girl has come so close to him before. She takes him to the brand store and tells him that she is not a gold digger. She just wants to see his sincerity and attitude. He tells her that it is not a problem. She can take whatever she wants. He wants to let her experiment with the dog licking system. Inside the store, he hears a familiar voice. He looks in that direction and sees Shutong there, shopping for luxury bags. He is sad to see her there. Zul gets that the girl is his ex-girlfriend. She blinks at him and says she has come at the wrong time. He smiles and says she has come at the right time. Zul goes to the counter and asks the girl there if they still have that bag from the spring sales. The shopkeeper replies that there's only one piece left, but the lady over there is trying it out. Shutong looks at Chen and says she cannot believe such a broke guy has brought a girl into the store. She decides to show him the difference between a loser and a junkie. She tells her boyfriend that her birthday is coming up. He irritatingly asks her if she didn't celebrate her birthday last month. She tells him that it was a birthday based on the lunar calendar, and people still have birthdays based on the solar calendar. Her boyfriend tells her that he does not like materialistic girls. He asks her if she is with him because of his money. She gets his meaning and gets scared. Zhu takes the bag off Shuang's shoulder and says she will take it if she is not buying it. Chen pays the bill and Zhu's favorability increases to 60 points. He smiles, thinking that that is the power of money. A bag increased her favorability towards him by 60 points. At this rate, Zhu will reach the threshold if she buys a few more bags. Then he thinks the amount of money he gets back is too small. The two store attendants whisper that they do not understand why some people seem rich and stingy with their girlfriends, while others seem ordinary and spend tens of thousands of dollars without blinking an eye. That's why the store manager taught them not to look at people through tinted glasses and that they cannot judge spending power based on appearances alone. Shuang is feeling insulted. Zhu makes her jealous and says that a bag is like a boyfriend. It is always better to grab it. Then she looks at Chen and thinks she must grab this big fish. She grabs his arm, calls him hubby, and thanks him for the gift. Shuang starts shedding tears when she sees that. She pushes Chen in anger while going out of the store and tells him that he has gone too far. He looks at her, smirks, and thinks they still have a long way to go. The system tells him to bind the dog-licking relationship to Shutong. Her current favorability towards the host is 10. When the heroine's favorability towards the host exceeds 95 points, the counterattack will succeed, transforming her identity into the host's licking dog. The counterattack completion reward is 10 of the licking gold and 20 strengthening points. Zhu asks him if he is relieved now and if she has done an excellent job. She also asks where they are going next. He laughs and says they are going to do more shopping. She cannot be satisfied with just one bag. He enters a store, points at a dress and a bag, and tells the shopkeeper to pack everything except those two things. Zhu's favorability towards him is increasing. After that, he buys her designer perfumes and makeup. After buying so many things, she tells him it is almost enough. She cannot fit it in her rental house. If she buys more, he says that it is not a problem. He will buy her a house. She feels ashamed and says it is not good. He has already spent a lot of money, and it's too much for their first meeting. Her favorability decreases to him by 5. Chen thinks that he might have scared her. It's true. He would also feel upset if someone had to give away a multi-million-dollar house just like that. He goes closer to her and says that she is a junior at the College of Fine Arts, 21 years old, 165 km tall, weighs 49 kg. Her favorite color is black. Her favorite food is Korean food. Her zodiac sign is Capricorn. Her shoe size is 30. Size is 37 and she likes to watch horror movies. Walking at night. He says he wouldn't be so abrupt if he didn't like her. He tells the shopkeeper that he would like to fill their store value card for exclusive members up to 500,000. And when this lady comes to the store in the future, they will directly recommend the latest model to her. She obeys his order. He tells her that if he has scared her, she should consider this card a gift to make amends. She looks at him with affection and starts blushing. He goes near her ear and whispers that if she cannot bear it, she should give herself to him. She shies away and slaps him, calling him a bad boy. With that, her favorability increases by 30. Even the store girls start liking him. They say that despite his humble appearance, this boy is so generous, and he is also very considerate of the girls' feelings. Chen thinks that it is true. The effect of the rich flirting is the opposite of the loser flirting. Zhu says he has bought her so much, and asks if he does not want to buy something for himself. He replies that he has no money. She says that now it is her turn to give him a present. She thinks she cannot just ask for it. If she wants to play a long game and catch a big fish, she also needs to give something appropriately. She takes him to a men's clothing store and buys him a few clothes. Then she takes him to a salon and gets him a new haircut. His whole personality changes with his new look. Zhu thinks that this guy looks so handsome when dressed up. Her favorability towards him increases even more. When she looks at him with affection, he thinks that this is the first time in his life he has to take care of himself like this. Fortunately, he does not need to spend any money. She lifts his chin with her finger and says it is not strange that she thinks they are a good match now. Then she says that she had a great time today because of him. For a few moments, she thought she was in love. She gives him a flying kiss and bids him goodbye. He checks and finds that her current favorability towards him is 60-80. He returns to his room. His roommates look at his new look and are shocked. They ask him what he has been doing all day and why he is dressed like this. He casually tells them he went on a date with Zhu. They say he can pull it off, but he cannot even figure it out with Shutong, and still wants Zhu. One of them says that Zhu is the flower of the art department. Even if he gets dumped a fourth time, he must act according to his ability. Another one puts his arm on his shoulder and tells him to take his advice that he cannot handle these girls. After a while, he gets Shuang's text saying that they should delete each other's numbers if he hates her. Chen knows that she wants to mess with his mentality. If they delete each other's numbers, where can he go to increase his favorability? He will also point her to upgrade and make money. He replies that he can hate her when she has a special place in his heart. She tells him that she is being with a junkie because she is vain. Her mother is ill and she needs 50,000 yuan for medical expenses. Chen sends 50,000 yuan to her account. She is shocked and tells her friend that she casually said it to him. And he gave her money. Her friend asks, who is so generous as to send a transfer of 50,000. She shows him the chat. That girl is surprised to see Chen's name and asks if she did not dump him today. Shuang wonders if she made a mistake. She decides to ask him. She asks him where he got all that money from and if he is in a relationship with Zhu. She also asks if he is some hidden rich second generation. But she gets disappointed when she gets no reply. Chen has put her contact on Do Not Disturb mode. He thinks Shuang is too teared up while Zhu cannot act too hastily. He wonders if there is any other place where he can legally spend money on a woman. He decides to try the live streaming platform. The girl on the live stream tells her viewers there is still an hour left before she goes off the air. So if her viewers want to send gifts, they'll have to hurry. Chen looks at the comments and is amazed that she has earned $1 million in no time. It means he has come to the right place. He presses the rocket icon and sends her money. After seeing the amount, that girl is stunned. It is not just her who is shocked. The other viewers are struck as well. Chen gives her more money, shattering all expectations. At the headquarters of that streaming application, An employee rushes to his boss and tells him that an unknown tycoon has just swiped $10 million in Z's livestream. The boss spits the water in his mouth and asks if it is not their trustee. Seeing this, the other streamers start sending him private messages. They think that just a few points from him are enough to cover their salary for several months. Zhu thinks that she is dreaming. She could not believe that someone had given her $10 million. A guy shows her a board where it is written that the boss told her to confirm that he will give her a 10 raise to get that lonely smoke. She understands the assignment and says she will not give up her big daddy to someone else. She sends him a flying kiss and thanks him for the gifts. She requests him to send her a private message, and she will give him 8 management. But Chen has slept peacefully. The following day, his fellows check out the search engine and are surprised that some rich guy swiped $10 million in half an hour on the stream last night. Chen wakes up due to the noise of their discussion. While brushing his teeth, he thinks he spent so much money last night and wonders why Mr. did not have any binding relationship. It means the bonding has to be in real life. Also, he wasted his money last night. He opens the app and looks at all the texts he had received the night before. He wonders if he is digging a hole in the chicken coop. His fellows are going somewhere and seem excited about it. They are in a hurry. He watches them go and asks what those 3 are doing without him. One of them says they are going to class. He reminds him that today is a public class. They can appreciate the goddess Xiao Yuki up close. The second one tells him he used to run faster than them and did not want to leave after class. Xiao Yuki, the campus beauty of Hunan University and vice president of the student union, is the dream of all boys. She is a pianist, a ballet principal, and a second-level athlete. Her outstanding talents and superb looks make her so difficult to approach. Chen is sitting in one of the rows in the student hall. Some girls look at him and say, "That guy is so handsome." They wonder who he is, as they have never seen him before. Chen thinks that a beautiful woman at Lakeside stands apart from the rest of the world. For 3 years, no one has been able to reach the top of this lonely peak. It must be worth a lot of money if it is hard to track down. Shuang and her fellow are also sitting a few rows behind Chen. Her fellow looks at him and asks if he is Chen. She says she has not seen him so handsome in a few days. She asks Shuang if he is dressed up especially for her. Shuang says that it should be correct, but she has a junkie now. Her heart is in turmoil in case they get into a fight. Her favorability is continuously increasing for Chen. Chen looks at her with a side eye and thinks, he just changed his clothes and she is getting favorability. He says that she is such a shallow woman, but right now, he has to focus on how to bind Xiao Yuki. Suddenly, he hears a guy asking his boss to show them how to conquer Xiao. Their boss is bragging that he will show them how he got her to fall in love with him. That guy goes to her and asks her for her Webtoon account. She is surprised by his nonsense, but says nothing. Her roommate, Uzofi, asks that guy what he wants to do with that. That overconfident brat tells him to add them on WeChat so they can get to know each other. Who grabs that guy by his shirt, pulls him closer, and asks if he is looking for his death. He threatens him with the tip of a ballpoint pen. That guy gets scared and says there is a misunderstanding. He just wants to join the student union. Xiao is the vice president, so he wants to ask for advice. Then that guy starts crying. Wu tells him he is a wimp with no good excuse for picking up girls. That guy runs away from there. Wu looks at Xiao with anger. Chen comes there and says he also wants to add her on WeChat. He shows her his phone and asks her to add him. The students are enjoying the incident today. They say that Chen is so brave. He is giving his face to others to step on. Ooh, says this guy is more handsome than the last one, and asks if he wants to join the student union too. Chen replies that he is not interested in the student union. Wu asks why he wants Jaya's WeChat. He replies that he wants to chase her. She starts blushing over his words. The whole crowd is stunned and calls him a fierce guy. They think this confident guy will cry when she rejects him, but Xiao agrees to share the Weichuan. Shuang's friend asks her if he is not her fish. Shuang is furious to see Chen doing this. Chen thinks everyone loves beauty, so there is no need to hide it. He says that sometimes the simplest means are the most effective. No woman dislikes being chased. The system has successfully bound the dog-licking relationship of those two, but her current favorability is 0. After the class, when they leave the university, his friends tell him he is so good today. He got Xiao Yuki's WeChat. He has changed so much recently, and he looks like a dog. One of them asks Chen if he can ask Xiao to introduce some of her friends to them. He replies that he does not have a single horoscope. She is the school beauty, and he is nothing. He tells his friends that they are exaggerating. Suddenly, someone tells him he is a loser with a sense of self-awareness. It is the guy whom you threatened. He tells Chen that he is wise. Chen tells him that he is the one who is more professional and that he will learn from him. That guy gets furious and asks Chen what he is talking about. He calls him a blind cat running into a dead rat. He tells him not to be so proud. Suddenly, Zhu comes there and says Chen is so slow. She has been waiting for him for a long time. The boys standing around are shocked to see Zhu talking to him. Chen replies that he will be damned if he is going to keep a girl waiting for so long. He asks her to allow him to buy her dinner and make amends. She likes his words and asks if she looks good in the clothes he bought for her. He replies that those clothes were made for her, and that the bag looks best when she carries it. He keeps praising her, and they walk away while talking. The crowd watches them go away together. That guy from earlier starts crying and wonders why he is one step behind. Shuang is crying with tears and wonders who Zhu thinks she is. It was Shuang who came first. Zhu and Chen go to a restaurant. There, she gives him a portrait of himself. She says that she stayed up all night to draw it. She also threatens him that she cannot spare him if he dares to throw her away casually. Chen is surprised and thinks this is the first time since birth that he has ever received a gift from a girl. Zhu smiles and asks him if he likes it. He wonders if this is a bait that she has prepared for him. She planned to trap him from the moment he spent money on her. He smirks and thinks it is a shame he is not the person he used to be. Zhu looks at him and thinks he does not seem very happy. It means he did not like her gift. Chen asks her why she is giving that portrait to him. He says that she made it by staying up late for him. He takes it from her hand, looks into her eyes, and asks how she should be responsible to him if she does not give him such a good gift in the future. She yells that he scared her and asks him to return her painting. He says he wants to collect it and use it as a family heirloom. He grabs her hand, pulls her closer, and says he likes her better in person than in her gifts. She starts blushing and thinks Chen is an expert in flirting. Her favorability also increases by 5 points. Seeing this, he thinks that if she wants him to be her dog, she should be a good toolman and blow up the gold. Suddenly, someone comes between them and pushes them away. That guy is almost crying, and his nose is running as well. He asks her if she did not say she is getting her nails done with her girlfriends and who that guy is. He says she is so good at getting her nails done that she can hug each other. He points at Chen and says he must be wealthy. Therefore, she even hugs him. He adds that he has been chasing her for so long, and she will not even let him touch her hand. Chen looks at that kid and thinks this unlucky kid must be Zhu's licking dog. Chen is too familiar with this kind of treatment. Zhu asks that kid who he thinks he is to her. She says it is none of his business whether she falls in love. Suddenly, Chen comes in between them and introduces himself. Then he asks the name of the guy standing before him and how long he has been chasing Zhu. That guy replies that his name is Wang Yu, and he is from the Department of Fine Arts. He has been chasing after Zhu for half a year. Chen behaves coolly and tells that guy that he chased a girl for 3 years. He worked 4 odd jobs and ate 8 steamed buns and pickles every day, but she finally chose to sit in someone else's Mercedes Benz. He tells him that those who have turned their backs on them will be their motivation for self-improvement. A real man should focus on getting a wife. He tells him to return to his dormitory, forget about her, work hard, make a name for himself, and make her regret her choice. That guy gets motivated and even starts crying. Zhu wonders what they are talking about as Wang starts crying. He calls Chen and tells him that he is just her friend. Chen replies that he does not care about her past, but he feels like she does not respect him very much, nor does she respect herself. He tears that painting in front of her. He says she can still use yesterday's card, but they will not meet until she gets her relationship in order. He leaves her there and walks out of the cafe. He laughs devilishly and thinks he wants to see how she will cope. She starts shedding tears, standing there, and thinks this is the first time someone is tolerating her like this. She thinks she likes him, but she screwed up things. Her favorability increased again by 5 points. While walking on campus in the evening, he thinks that women cannot just hold it in their hands and give it a shot if they have nothing to do. He looks at his phone and says Zhu's side has finished pushing the second tower. It is time to switch lines to Xiao Yuki. He checks her profile and finds that Xiao is broadcasting and she is an anchor as well. Xiao is sitting in front of a piano and greets everyone online. She tells them she is a trainee who has been live broadcasting for 2.5 days. Her specialties are singing, dancing, and piano. She requests others to take care of her. Chen thinks it is pretty cute and wonders if President Xiao may be cold on the outside but hot on the inside. He looks at the money she generated and thinks it is too low. Suddenly, he gets a text from Zia. He asks her who she is, and she reminds him that he gave her a bunch of rockets yesterday. He asks her if she is free for a meetup. She replies that she would also like to meet, but her schedule is packed. He tells her never to mind it. Then she thinks he has gone mad and says she will do a special dance for him tonight. He is furious that she still wants to trick him into swiping gifts. He does not even have a binding judgment for $10 million. He could give it to President Xiao. Suddenly, Xiao gets a notification that someone wants to peek with her. Chen is also glad to see that. It will be fun to watch. Zamir tells her viewers that she is matched with a new girl. It looks like she is sure to win. Chen also watches the match and says it will be hard to tell who wins until the end. It is a strange fate that the two of them match together. Zir tells Jiao to take a break. She says that her hand is broken, but Zhu has the backing of a wealthy man. She is sure that she will convince this smoky guy with her farming skills. Till now, she has gathered more gifts than Xiao. However, she soon becomes shocked when she sees that the smoky guy has sent multiple rockets to Xiao instead of her. Zia is surprised as well. Zia is now worried as she did not get support from the guy she was getting support from. She has been told that her boss demands an explanation of what happened. Zia gets disappointed and apologizes to her viewers by saying she has something to do, so she is going off the air now. Chen smiles and says he can give her a gift. He could also gift someone else. She wanted to pin him down with a smile. He looks at President Xiao's live stream and says he has spent much money on her, so she should not let him down. At the headquarters of the Shark application, an employee runs toward the boss to tell him about the big event that just happened. He tells him that the Lonely Smoke gifted another 10 million. The boss wonders if that guy is a crown prince in the Middle East. Wu tells Jia that her broadcast has been trending today. He tells her that she will be popular soon and may become an internet celebrity. She is surprised but does not want to be an internet celebrity. She says that trying to please men online is not a long-term solution. The most important thing for a woman is to have a career and financial and personal independence. Wu tells her to stop lecturing him. He asks her to tell the truth if she knows the guy who gave her the gift. She replies that she has often told him that she does not know who he is. She gets irritated by his question. Wu apologizes to her and says he is just curious. Xiao says he has sent her so many gifts, so she should send him a private message to thank him. Suddenly, She makes a scream. Wu asks her what happened to her. Xiao shows him her phone and says she may know that rich man. Xiao thinks that Chen is the son of a plutocrat. He has been well-dressed and well-fed since childhood, but he has a low-key nature and always pretends to live an ordinary life. Having received an elite education, he was fed up with the gazes of others and just wanted to live freely. One day, he meets the girl he loves and bravely pursues her as a commoner. Xiao thinks this must be Chen's story. Wu asks her if she is reading too many novels these days. She does not care what Wu thinks and says Chen has lived well since childhood, so pretending to be ordinary must be challenging. Now, she has to thank him sincerely. Chen comes back after taking a shower and sees Xiao's text. She invites him to dinner tomorrow and says she will wait for him at the school gate. Chen thinks that she did not ask him where he got the money for the gift, but simply invited him to dinner. He wants to see what she is up to. The next evening, he reaches the school gate on an electric bike. He stops near a luxury car. The middle-aged man with a cigar outside that luxury car asks Chen if he is waiting for someone. He replies yes, and asks if he is waiting for someone too. He replies that he came here to pick up his goddess. Xiao appears on the road. Chen looks at him and is stunned. The uncle tells Chen not to look at her. He says Chen must work hard to earn money, or uncles like him will pick up all these beauties. Jiao looks at Chen and sits on his bike behind him. That uncle is shocked to see that beauty choosing that guy's bike over his luxury car. He sits on his knees and cries, asking what the purpose of making so much money is. Jiao feels like riding a heavy bike and sitting with her husband after marriage. They have arrived at a local restaurant. Chen parks his bike outside. Their orders of spicy garlic are served. Chen starts serving her food. She adores his manner, thinking he forgot to be a gentleman, even in a simple stall. It is the style of a noble family. Chen passes her the hand-glove box. She smiles and thinks he treats people with a sense of propriety. A little more attention, and they will be attentive. A little less, and they will be cold. He is very... Chen, a disciplined family man, wears a glove and starts eating lobsters with his hands. She looks at him and thinks this must be the most undersized lobster he has ever eaten. She thinks that if he is so rich in eating with her, he does not want her to be stressed out. She thinks he is such a soft, gentle flower of the highlands. Her favorability towards him increases by 10 points. Surprised by this sudden increase, the lobster falls out of his hand. She picks up a lobster and feeds him with her hands. She blushes and says she will peel the shrimp for him. He is amazed and starts liking her generosity. When she is feeding him, Shang and her boyfriend, Junkai, enter the restaurant. She is shocked to see Xiao feeding Chen shrimp. She is worried and thinks first it was Zul Lil and now Xiao Yuki. She wonders how he could be so capable. She tells her boyfriend Junkai that there are too many people here and asks if they can go somewhere less crowded. He grabs her and says he thinks there are a lot of acquaintances. He tells her that he is a person who likes to eat in crowded places. He goes to Chen's table and throws some money at him. He tells Chen to take these $500 and give him his seat. Chen looks at the currency notes that fell there and wonders what Junkai is doing and if he thinks he looks good like that. Junkai throws more notes and asks him if these are enough. Chen shows no reaction. Xiao stands up in anger. He thinks that he was provoked and wonders why she is so angry. Xiao angrily thinks about what that dog thinks of himself, that he dared to mess up her perfect date. Seeing all that money, a guy comes there and tells Junkai to give that money to him, and he will give his table to Junkai. Junkai grabs him by the shirt and angrily says he wants this table. Suddenly, he gets hit by a purse and one of his teeth breaks. It was Xiao, and Chen was stunned to see her being this brave. At that very moment, a vast woman appears on the scene and tells Junkai that he eats her food, wears her clothes, drives her car, and asks how he dares to use her money to pick up girls. That woman looks furious. Chen looks at her and is scared to his death. Junkai, who just got hit by Xiao, grabs his face with one hand and asks why Xiao King is doing here. She thunders and asks if she had not been here, how would she have discovered that he was having fun with women behind her back? She says Junkai is a beast worse than a pig or a dog. Junkai tries to play innocent and says she has got it all wrong. He asks how he could have a woman. He says that she has given him everything, so there is no way he could betray her. He grabs Shutong by her hair, pulls her, and says it was her. She seduced him. Shutong cries and says that Junkai is lying. He asked her first and also said that he was single. He slaps her on her face and tells her to shut up. Shutong looks at him with tears in her eyes. He again raises his hand at her and tells her to lower her gaze. Chen grabs his wrist and stops him there. He asks Junkie if he does not feel ashamed of himself while hitting a woman. Shutong cannot believe that Chen took a stand for her. She thinks he still loves her. Her favorability for him increases and reaches the target point. The system informs him that Lin Shutong, the dog-licking partner number 2, has a favorability score of 95 for the host. It congratulates the host for a successful counterattack on dog-licking target number 2, spending 50,000 on dog-licking gold, and rewarded the host with 5,000 yuan. Lin Shutong is transferred into a licking dog, and the host is rewarded with 20 enhancement points as well. With those points, his strength and agility increase. Chen bends Junkai's arm. Junkai gets hurt and asks him to let him off. He lifts a bottle from a table and tries to hit Chen with it, but Chen breaks the bottle and Junkie's nose with one punch. Chen tells him that there is no shame in eating soft food, but he is a beast who eats soft food and beats women properly. Junkai feels insulted and brings out a knife from his pocket. Chen tells him to watch out. Chen speedily grabs his wrist and releases the knife from his grip. Then he lifts him and throws him. Junkai passes out. The crowd gathers around to see the fight. Chen starts walking outside. Shutong looks at him and rushes toward him. She grabs his leg and says she was wrong and blind. She asks him for a chance to start over. He asks her if Chen, whom she is talking to, is the person who once carried her over 10 km to the emergency room at 3's. A.M. Is he still the same Chen who saved up for half a year to buy her a cell phone, only to be criticized for not being the latest model? Is it Chen who knows she is frivolous and vain, but always believes she will look back one day? He tells her that the old Chen is already dead. She chose it herself. Then he leaves her there crying. Chen drops Jia at her hostel. He apologizes to President Xiao for the mess tonight. She replies that calling her president is too rude. He should just call her Kiki. She adds that she did not feel disturbed, but she got to see a different side of someone. She thinks that Chen is a person who is more and more impressive, the more someone looks at him. She has a hunch that he will bring her countless surprises. Shutong enters her room while crying. Her friend asks her why she has not brought an umbrella, as it is showering so hard outside. Shutong just calls Chen Yuan's name and says nothing else. Her friend thinks that she has heard that Chen swiped over 10 million for Xiao's live broadcast yesterday. She says this kid looks like a beggar but is so rich. Shutong is shocked to hear that and asks her where she heard that news. She replies that Wufia's dorm roommate said it, which is all over the women's dormitory. She thought Shutong knew. Shutong starts screaming after hearing everything. Chen is playing a video game. His friend asks him if he is outrageous. He is 118. Chen's friends ask him if he is a gaming genius after winning 18 times in a row tonight. Chen thinks that he did not expect that after adding 20 attributes, even playing games would become more accessible. This is a surprise. He replies to his friends that he is in good condition. One of his friends asks him why he does not become an anchor. He says that when Chen makes 1 million a month, he can fly with him. Chen removes his shirt and looks at himself in the washroom's mirror. He thinks the attribute points have made qualitative changes in his body, and he is in better shape. He focuses on his jawline and says that calling himself Pang Yuan of Hunan University should not be too much. He looks at his abs and says that with such a perfect body, he does not know which woman would be cheapened. Suddenly, his friend calls him and asks if he has fallen into the toilet hole. He tells him that the phone is ringing continuously. He comes out and checks his phone and wonders why Zul is calling him so late. He wonders if she is thinking of some new tricks to trick him. He calls her and asks why she called him so late. She is crying on the other side. She tells him that she does not know what to do and could only think of him. She asks him if he can give her $500,000. She explains that her dad owes a lot of money because of gambling. The family, which was initially relatively wealthy, has plummeted, and they have to deal with loan sharks daily. Zul says she is not a very materialistic girl, but she has to pay off her debts. Chen asks her to give her card number. He instantly sends her the money. She is shocked to see the figure, as it is 5 million instead of $500,000. She asks him why it is 5 million. He replies that it is okay. He accidentally hit an extra zero. Her favorability increases towards him multiple times. She thanks him for helping her and says she will repay him. Zul's current favorability score is 94. Chen wonders why it is still 94, and if his sudden help did not win her heart. He wonders if she wants to confess her feelings. Then he thinks that it might not be the case. The person who reveals his neediness first is often at a disadvantage. Whoever confesses first will lose. The next day, when Chen is outside the cafeteria with his fellows, Shang comes there and tells him that she has brought him a bun from the cafeteria. She invites him to go to the classroom together. His friends are stunned to see her bringing breakfast for him. Suddenly, Zul comes there too and says she has brought him breakfast. She guesses he is tired of eating in the cafeteria, which is why she made him seafood porridge. Both girls look at each other with hate in their eyes. Suddenly, someone else calls Chen at the same time. Now his friends wonder who the third candidate is. It's Yao. She says she has brought him beef noodles. Shong and Zul wonder why Xiao is there. It's like a boxing match between those three inside a ring. Her strong sense of oppression fears those two. They think that is the power of being number 2 on the school's beauty list. Chen asks Xiao how she knows that he likes to eat beef noodles. She says she just assumed he likes spicy food when they ate crayfish yesterday, and knows a great place that serves it. He replies that it feels so good to be cared about by others. He thanks Kiki. He thinks that he expected this from Xiao. She could gauge his taste through the details, and without making a sound. Xiao welcomes him and says, of course, giving breakfast is a priority. She adds that if one does not care for the other party's liking, how can they say they like them? Shutong and Zul are annoyed to hear that. It feels like she is punching them very severely. Xiao gives him a gift and says it is to express her gratitude. Chen asks if it is the newly released F15 Pro Max. Chen's friends are shocked to see him getting the latest mobile phone model as a gift. Seeing him receive the gift makes them feel worse than the death of their fathers. Even Shang and Zul are surprised to see her willingness towards him, as that phone costs more than 10,000 yuan. This feels like she has knocked them in a single move. Chen tells her she does not need to spend so much on him. She replies that he has spent more on her. She does not have much money. It is a favor to him. He says that he will accept it. Then they both walk away, leaving the others standing there. Shutong says she wants Chen back and wonders why it is so hard. She is sad because it has only been a few days, and another girl has appeared. Zul comes to him and tells Shutong to find a place to chat. Shutong asks what she is talking about. She has nothing to discuss with her. She adds that it is all Zul's fault. Zul says that she wants to talk about forming alliances. Shutong startles and asks what kind of alliance. She replies that it is an alliance against their common enemy, Xiao. Chen checks the mobile features. It is hard to believe that she gave him such an expensive mobile phone which costs more than 10,000 yuan. Jiao asks him if he is okay, and if something is wrong with the phone. He smiles and says everything is fine, and the phone is handy. Her current favorability is 40. Chen thinks he would have already believed she loves him if he had not seen her favorability. She is indeed worthy of being the goddess. She is more skillful in making the hunter think she is the hunter. He has to find a way to push forward the progress as soon as possible. When he is busy thinking about this, his phone beeps. It is a text from Zir. She tells him that the last time she said she could not meet, it was not that she could not do it. She is a little bit afraid of society, but it does not mean she does not want to meet. Smokey. He looks at the message, laughs, and wonders what kind of attitude this is. He also wonders if she thinks him a. At the same time, he gets a notification that Dragon King wants him to join a group where all the anchors are ranked. He wonders if this is the legendary Big Daddy group of anchors. He joins the group and starts chatting with the other members. He realizes that these rich guys want to test his skills, so he plays with them. One of them says that Mr. PM Smokey seems rich. Ends of millions are just a tiny amount of money for him. He asks if he wants to do business with him. That guy adds him for a private chat. Here, he tells him that he has a villa. He plans to sell, but doesn't know if Mr. Giz Smokey is interested in it. Chen asks him about the location. He replies that it is located in Jianyu District, a river, view villa. Chen searches the location on maps and is stunned to see that Jianyu District is a well-known wealthy area. A villa costs at least tens of millions. He replies that he has just planned to buy a villa to store some sundries. He will go to see the house tomorrow. The guy on the other side of the phone is shocked to see his reply. He says that this guy seems to be planning to buy it. He wonders if they guessed wrong. He tells Dragon King that Mr. Kin Smokey is not a shill. He is rich. Dragon King, who is drinking tea, replies that whether he is rich or fake, they will know when the time comes. Even if they guess wrong, there will be many benefits if they can make friends who will not frown, even if they throw tens of millions of dollars at others. He tells the other guy to send Mr. Smokey their address and learn more about him. Chen receives the address and wonders how much her favorability will increase if he gives her a villa. Xian brings Xiao to that location with him. She asks him why he has brought her here so mysteriously. The owner is waiting for them outside. He waves at Mr. P. Smokey. He thinks that Smokey looks ordinary, but he is accompanied by a woman who is a natural beauty. He wonders if he may be the son of a hidden family. It seems to him that the price today is challenging to negotiate. He extends his hand for a handshake and says his name is Chen Yuan. He has a small business, but recently he had to sell this villa due to financial problems. He welcomes them inside the villa and tells them to have a look. He says the entire villa has a construction area of 500 square meters. The usable area is 2,000 square meters. Famous designers designed the decoration, and the whole house was customized with imported Italian furniture. He shows them the view from the balcony and says that the river is surging and dragons and tigers are roosting. The feng shui is excellent. He would have wanted to bury himself here if he were not short of money. Xiao wonders if Chen is buying a house. She thinks this mansion must cost tens of millions of dollars. Chen says that this place is good. He tells him not to waste his time and quickly tell him the price. Hong tells him that he will not lie. Although he needs money, before he came here, several people were very interested in this place. He thinks his psychological price for this house is 50 million, so he has to leave some room for bargaining. Therefore, he will quote a higher price. He tells Smokey that he will give him an average price of 60 million. Chen sighs before saying something. Hong wonders if he has overstated it. He thinks it is hard to fool a nobleman's son. Chen acts as if 60 million is nothing for him and agrees to pay. Hong is shocked to hear him. He is now repenting and thinks he should have asked for 80 million. Chen asks Yigao if they should buy this house. She asks why he is asking her. She does not care if he buys it or not. He replies that he is buying it for her. Hong thinks giving 60 million to others is a massive amount of financial resources and courage. He is shocked because the price he quoted did not offend Smokey. Xiao is stunned and thinks no matter how rich and generous Chen Yuan is, he should have some restraint. This is too exaggerated. She wonders if this is some kind of main Nordal trap, and if he will trick her into drinking tainted water later. She replies that it does not sound great, and she cannot accept it. He grabs her hand and says that the property restriction policy has been implemented recently. He owns too many properties, so he is thinking of transferring one to her name. He also hopes to give her a home. She starts blushing. She wonders if this kind of money transfer is typically allowed for legally married couples. She wonders if he treats her like his future wife. Chen asks her what their relationship matters, and if it is not his and hers, there is no need for distinctions. She starts blushing more, and her favorability rapidly increases for him, reaching 90 points. Chen thinks his acting skills are improving, and the film industry owes him an Oscar. Chen paid the initial deposit of 10 million and said he would transfer the remaining money to Hong after completing the formalities. Hong replies that it is okay, and Chen can leave the transfer matters to him. It will be sorted out in the next few days. They sit in the taxi and Hong waves them goodbye. Hong thinks that with Smokey's wealth, it is surprising that he still insists on taking a taxi daily for physical exercise. It is like going incognito, proving that the wealthier he is, the more low-key he becomes. While sitting in the taxi, Chen thinks that President Xiao's favorability is already 90 points. Once he completes the licking dog transformation, the 70 million invested in her will turn into 700 million in returns, with the addition of attribute point rewards. This is a hefty profit. Xiao looks at him and thinks that, based on her experience reading novels, if Chen just said something embarrassing, the next part will likely be their wedding. She wonders if the wedding will be in Milan or the Alps, and what name suits their child. She wakes from her daydreams when the driver tells them they have arrived. She exits the taxi and asks Chen if he is not leaving the car. He replies that his roommates have invited him to play games at the internet cafe. He bids her goodbye and leaves. She becomes sad and says it should not be like this. She wanted to confess. Chen arrives at the internet cafe. He looks at his friends, who are already playing. They ask him why it took him so long to come. They tell him to hurry up and go open a card, as they have saved a machine for him. He tells them not to worry. He will drive the machine to take them flying. He goes to the counter and asks them to open a 20U card, 4 packs of liquid cigarettes, and 4 bottles of iced black tea. Zoe is on the counter. She calls Chen, who is looking at his phone. Hearing her voice, he looks at her and asks what she is doing here. She blushes and says she told him earlier that her dad runs a chain of internet cafes and opened this one. Thanks to him, her family's debt has been completely paid off. She excitedly says she will give him a lifetime membership for the internet cafe so he can use unlimited computers. He replies that it is not necessary, but she still does it. Suddenly, a gangster asks Zoe if she is Leo's daughter. He also asks when her father will repay the money he owes them. She replies that she paid him 5 million last time and asks why she still needs to pay him back. The guy smacks his hand on the counter and says, 5 million is the principal, and there is also interest. The interest is still 15 million short. She yells at him that he is thoroughly engaging in fraud. It is robbery. He grabs her and tells her to stop talking nonsense. If she cannot come up with 15 million today, she will come with them. With her looks, she would be the star of his nightclub and could easily earn enough to cover the 15 million debt in 1 or 2 years. Seeing him crossing the line, Chen grabs his arm and twists it. He warns them to leave quickly before he gets angry. The gangster, furious, calls Chen a meddling mouse and orders his men to kill him. All the other gangsters attack him simultaneously. Chen kicks them, and his friends are shocked to see the blind monk's ultimate move. Cyclone kick. They say that Yuan has improved his fighting skills recently. Those gangsters leave the cafe saying that Chen should consider himself lucky today, but not let them into him again. Zoe hugs him and thanks him for saving her again. She was scared to death just now. Chen gets a notification that Zoe's favorability has reached 95 points. It congratulates him for the successful counterattack. It says that the dog-licking target, no one spent 53 million U in dog-licking gold, and rewards the host with 530,000 U. He also gets 5 bonus points. Chen thinks that today is a double delight. Suddenly, Shutong comes and sees Zoe hugging Chen. She calls her treacherous. She points at Zoe and tells Chen that they agreed to ally, yet she is hiding and seducing Chen Yuan, enjoying the benefits alone. Chen gets embarrassed to see them fighting and tells the system to add all the points to strength and agility. The next day, students are wandering in the sports field. Chen is also there. He thinks that Lin Shutong and Zoe Leal have been successfully wooed, So dealing with President Exio is just a piece of cake. It is time to find new targets, or else he might end up in a situation where no one is left to charm. Suddenly, a girl taps his back to call him and asks him if he can move to the side because he is causing inconvenience to others. She says their sports club has requisitioned the sports field for a short distance race. She asks him if he could make way and avoid the area. He looks at her closely and thinks that, even though this girl seems a bit fierce, she is pretty straightforward and genuine. He tells her that he can do that. Then, he shows her his phone and requests her to share her WeChat, so he can add her there. Suddenly, someone comes and asks him what he is doing. That guy says he is her boyfriend and tells Chen to get rid of this idea as soon as possible. Chen thinks that he has seen this guy somewhere before. Then, he remembers that this guy used to beat him in the past. The guy calls Chen a toad dreaming of eating swan meat. He tells him to give up that unrealistic hope and face reality. Chen thinks that it is a narrow road between enemies. The system binds that girl in the dog-licking relationship. She is haining, and her current favorability towards the host is 5. If he succeeds with this target, he will get a reward of tens of the dog-licking gold, along with an additional 22 enhancement points. Chen thinks that this target is attractive. The referee asks the players to get ready as the competition is about to begin. That guy also comes to the starting line. Jing roots for her boyfriend. The players take their positions. The referee gives the signal, and that guy is running faster than the other players, maintaining the first spot. He thinks the other players are a bunch of ants. Suddenly, a player crosses him. That guy is shocked and says someone can't be this fast. It is Chen who leaves that guy behind. He thinks that he will defeat Ling in his strongest field. Yang Gong thinks that he cannot be underestimated. He laughs and says that although he does not know who he is, he will show him what it means to be a great emperor. But then he looks around and wonders where Chen has gone. Chen appears on his left, and he is still running. Ying is shocked that Chen has lapped him by a whole round. He wonders how many seconds it was. Chen smirks and thinks that with just a mere decade of hard training, Ling could never compare to his meticulously planned skill points over a whole week. The anchor says that they witnessed something extraordinary. The real speedster has emerged. In the face of his speed, even the iron arm, Adam bows. Down in awe, the whole crowd shouts for him. In just 50 short seconds, he has already circled the field once. Chen wins the race. Jing could not believe that her boyfriend had lost. The anchor says that a new champion is born. He has broken records, surpassing even the limits of human intellect, but they still know nothing about him. He is not even a competing athlete. The coach comes to Chen and says that Chen has extraordinary abilities. He says that if he is interested in joining the track and field team, he recommends joining the national team. Ling starts crying and asks the coach if that spot wasn't meant for him. Jing looks at him and wonders why she does not feel bad about that guy. Her favorability increases for him by 5 points. Suddenly, Ling calls her and asks what's wrong with her, as her thoughts seem somewhere else. She smiles to cover up and says she is just a little worried about him. Meanwhile, her favorability keeps increasing for Chen. Xiao enters the room, and Wu asks her where she has been. She tells him that Chen bought her a house. Wu is shocked to hear this news. She replies that it is true. She went to see a house with him today. She tells him that Chen bought that house for 60 million. She asks him to help her check the house prices in Jianu district. She says that if that chubby guy selling the house plays dirty, she will not spare his life. Chen told her that what belongs to him also belongs to her. Wu thinks that sometimes luck favors the naive. He wonders why he cannot encounter such good fortune. He is feeling jealous of her. Wu tells her not to show off. He will help her with this. Suddenly, he sees something on his phone and yells, "What is this?" Someone has posted an article about Chen, claiming that he is a top-tier scumbag juggling multiple relationships at the same time. At the 21st level, Chen's roommate shows him that article on the internet and makes fun of him. Chen is angry. He thinks that the writer of this article is kidding with him. He is obviously a money-splitting boy. It seems like he has been relatively high-profile lately, and someone might not be happy about it. He wonders who that person could be. 3 nerds are behind this scene. The one with the glasses tells the others that their article was pushed to the top of the list. The post has gone viral. His fellow laughs and says that now Chen's reputation is over. Suddenly, Ying comes to them and asks what those 3 are doing by drawing the curtains and turning off the lights in broad daylight. Firstly, those 3 get scared by his sudden appearance. They look at him and say he is so scary, as he always walks silently. The main culprit tells Ying that there is a guy named Chen Yuan in the School of Liberal Arts who is very arrogant. Recently, they are dealing with him. Ying looks at Chen's picture and wonders if he is not the guy from the sprint race. He suddenly realizes that he is the same Chen that he used to beat up in high school. He laughs and tells those 3 that he knows him. They went to the same high school. Chen has been a sociopath since childhood, and he has quite a bit of information about him. Ling says that Chen is probably not worthy of being a good guy. He persistently clings to girls and harasses them. Those 3 start welcoming Ying to get more information about Chen so they can add more to their already viral article. Ling wants revenge as well. He smirks and thinks it does not matter if Chen wins the game, and the coach likes him. Ling wants him to be ruined. They update the post and write that Chen rides on many boats, objectifies women, and frequently pressures and dwarfs them. They advise all the women to be aware of this well-dressed beast. They also mention that those women already in a relationship with him do not do so voluntarily. The article also mentions that an insider has told them that Chen Yuan had the reputation of being a 3-headed dog from high school. He can be called the best licking dog among all licking dogs. The article spreads like fire in the jungle. Everyone is shocked to read so much about Chen Yuan. Even the principal of the university reads it. He smashes the phone on the table in anger and says, "That is too much and is simply unreasonable." He adds that he will not allow such a black sheep to appear in his school. He will personally investigate and find out if it is true. He will expel this scum among students. Xiao tells the investigation team that Chen Yuan from Huda College of Liberal Arts is an exceptional person. What he hates the most is girls suffering. He comes from a famous family and possesses extraordinary wealth, yet he is generous and willing to help others, hoping to alleviate their worries and solve difficulties. He hates those who beat women. Whenever night falls, he transforms into a dark knight, pushing evil and striking with a heavy fist. He is powerful and mysterious, guarding this city entirely of desire and sin. Xiao says that from her perspective, Chen Yuan is a hero. Those officers ask if it is not an exaggeration to call him a hero. They ask her on what basis she draws this conclusion. She replies that she has drawn it with her woman's intuition. The principal asks his secretary if Xiao Yuki's testimony is credible. He looks at her profile and replies that she is the vice president of the student union. Although he thinks she is a bit weird, she should not lie. Chen Yuan is probably a good person. The principal orders the officers to ask Chen's classmates again. They go to Sheng, show her their ID, and say they have some questions about her classmate Chen Yuan. They need her help in their investigation and request that she come with them. In the investigation room, she starts crying while telling the officers that Chen Yuan is a good person, but it is a pity that she is not good enough for him. She says that she is greedy for him, working day and night, but Chen Yuan is not willing to choose her. She admits that she excuses herself for being emotional because it makes her heart ache when she thinks of him. The officer passes her another tissue and asks if she is saying she likes Chen Yuan, and he rejects her, but she still thinks he is a good person. She sobs and says she deserves it. She does not deserve to fall in love. Chen Yuan is undoubtedly a good person. He has not done anything wrong. He just does not love her. The principal also hears the testimony. After that, he leaves the room, smokes outside, and wonders if it is possible that Chen Yuan is innocent and the people on the forum are trying to smear him. Suddenly, he looks down from the window and sees 2 people coming that way. He wonders why they are presenting a banner. He meets them and introduces himself as the president of Hunan University. He asks them what those 2 are looking for. Zoil opens the banner and tells the principal that she is from the art department. She came today to present a banner to Chen Yuan from the literature college. She adds that Chen acted bravely a few days ago and helped her family a lot. The principal is shocked to hear of another fan of Chen. He sees those two off and thinks that he has blamed Chen Yuan wrongly. He must have to look at that post again. Surprisingly, there are some videos in favor of Chen. Someone also posted a video of him winning the race. Other than that, there are many comments from girls speaking in favor of Chen Yuan just by seeing his innocent looks. Seeing all this, the principal grabs his head in worry and wonders if this man is a popular idol. He thinks that it is just like a set of light falcons. A tall tree stands out in forest, but the wind will break it. If a person is too good, he can easily be targeted and forced by others. The principal starts sighing and says he can understand Chen Yuan now. He says he will surely give him justice. He will be unruly. He cannot bear this grievance. He calls all the students in the hall. He tells them that recently there have been some rumors on the forum against Chen Yuan, a student of their school. But based on his thorough investigation, he found it to be completely a rumor. It's slander. He pulls Chen closer and says that today he is here to clear Chen's name. He adds that Chen not only has a correct lifestyle and is willing to help others, but he has even acted bravely for justice many times, but kept it secret. He sobs and says Chen has a majestic personality and a noble soul. He gives him a certificate and tells others to learn from Chen Yuan and become people who contribute positively to society. All the students applaud him. Chen wonders what is happening there and why he is being given this certificate. He is getting embarrassed, wondering when he has shown courage and been willing to help others. Ling is burning to see Chen getting all those praises. He cannot understand why Chen has not been ruined at this time. He thinks that everyone has gone blind. It is Ling who should be the one standing on the stage, accepting flowers and applause. Suddenly, he looks at his girlfriend Jing, who is enchanted by Chen's personality. Chen is surprised when he sees that Jing's favorability towards him has increased by more than 10 points. The students start leaving after the ceremony ends. Ling goes to Jing and says he has seen it all. She just enthusiastically applauded Chen Yuan. He asks her what the meaning behind that is. She asks him if he is not feeling well and why he is so jealous. She says that she only has genuine admiration for her classmate Chen Yuan. As a fellow university student, he has done many good deeds yet remains indifferent to fame and wealth. She quotes an example. After winning against Ying, he could have become the pride of the heavens, but instead he chose to return. These comments work as oil in the fire for Ying. He grabs her wrist with force and tells her to shut up. He says that Chen cannot beat him. She starts weeping and tells him that he is hurting her. Ying has gone crazy with hatred and says Chen Yuan is just a useless dog that he stepped on. It does not matter if the coach likes him. This society values those with money and power. His dad can buy him a Tesla. He asks her what Chen Yuan has in his possession. Suddenly, Chen passes them, talking on the phone, telling Hong he can drive in. He tells him that he keeps a low profile at school and instructs him not to come to pick him up in an overly expensive car. Jing and Ling forget about their fight and start looking at him. After a while, they see that a fancy car comes and stops by Chen. He tells the man who brought the car that he told him not to drive such a fancy car. He scolds him softly and tells him to pay attention next time. Hong apologizes to him and says he will from the next time. He explains that he rushed and forgot. Chen does not like it to be too flashy. Hong opens the door for him and Chen gets in. Ling's eyes come out of the shock that he has just received. After the car leaves, Jing tells Ling that they should break up as he does not trust her. Ling cannot believe that his girl is breaking up with him. Chen Yuan and Hong go to the office where he pays the remaining amount to Hong, and he gives him the villa papers. After completing all the legal procedures, Chen says that he is heading back to school. Hong offers him a lift. He refuses, saying that his car attracts too much attention. He will take a taxi back himself. While walking on the road, he thinks that even though he has bought the house, he still needs to prioritize with President Xia. After all, reaching full favorability earns a 25-point attribute bonus. He needs to give her something else. He checks his phone to see what else Hong wants to sell. He opens the group chat and sees the praises for him as he bought an expensive villa in no time. Moreover, he gifts it to his girlfriend. Chen replies that it is just a small favor he is doing. Suddenly, someone posts in the group an ad about selling a car. Chen likes the idea of giving her a car. Chen reaches the showroom of that guy. The guy receives him in person and introduces himself. He is Jiang Hain, and his family runs a small business. Personally, he manages a small car dealership. He says it is a pleasure to meet Mr. Smokey and gives Chen his business card. Chen knows that the Gen Group makes cars and cargo ships. This is a large local enterprise, and this guy, surnamed Jiang, is a wealthy second-generation entrepreneur. He calls him Brother Jiang and says that managing a large car dealership at a young age is truly impressive. Haosen tells him not to call him brother, as he cannot afford it. He tells him just to call him by his name. He says he would like to take him on a tour to see some cars. He tells Chen that he is really young and promising. When he first heard Hong say, Mr. Smokey, he thought he was an uncle, but he did not expect Mr. Smokey to be so young and have such outstanding charisma. One of Jiang's secretaries asks the other who that person is, whom Mr. Jiang received personally. She replies that he must be the son of some wealthy tycoon. She tells the other not to bother looking into it. This kind of man is not someone they should be concerned about. Jiang shows him his collection. He says that he would not speak for elsewhere, but in this city, his place has the most complete collection of luxury cars. Everything he can think of is here. Chen looks around and says he wants to buy a Bugatti Chiron. These words hit Jiang like an arrow. He smiles embarrassingly and says that Chen really loves to joke. He says that the Chiron is a top luxury car with a limited edition of 20 units in the world. Chen asks if he is saying that he does not have it. Chen asks if he has a Lamborghini Veneno or a Pagani Huayra Roadster. These words critically hit Jiang. He wonders if Chen is here to disrupt his place. He explains that the vehicles he usually deals with here range from 2 million to 89 million. Chen gets that he has no car that he desires. He tells him that there is nothing suitable for him here. He also mentions that Jiang's business does not seem to be that extensive. Jiang thinks that Chen can buy houses worth tens of millions, but he finds it hard to believe he can afford cars of the same value. He decides to unveil his trump card to keep the shop bustling. He tells Chen that even though he does not have the car he asked for, he does have one expensive car here. He takes the curtain off a Ferrari LaFerrari. It features a 6.3 LV12 naturally aspirated engine capable of delivering a maximum power output of 588 Q. The independent electric motor produces 120 Q of power, contributing to a total output of 800 horsepower. Paired with an A7 speed dual clutch transmission, it achieves an acceleration time of less than 3 seconds for 0 to 100 km. It is available for 225 million. Jiang asks Chen how he would respond in such a scenario. Chen thinks that, while the Ferrari may not be excessively expensive, it is still not considered cheap. It would indeed be fitting as a gift for President Xia. He puts a hand on Jiang's shoulder and says that if it is over 20 million, he will buy it. He has put in effort and tells him to take him to swipe the card. He tells him to deliver the car to Hang Riverside Villa Community. Jiang is shocked and takes the card from him. Suddenly, Chen gets a call from his friend Lai Wen. He wonders why he is calling him this time. Wen tells Chen that on his birthday, his girlfriend Liu Jia said she was accompanying her best friend to do nails. It got very late. Too late. Liu Jia did not bring an umbrella with her. He was worried about her, so he hurriedly took an umbrella to give it to her. But he witnessed a scene that tore his heart apart. She was kissing some rich guy with a car in the rain. At that moment, he felt a sense of confusion. They were getting wet in the rain, while he, holding the umbrella, felt like a drowned rat. Wen is crying tears and tells Chen that his heart hurt so much. It was a 3-year relationship. He had planned to take her home to meet his parents. Chen tells him to stop drinking. He has already had 8 bottles of poetry. Wen sobs and asks if he did something wrong, and if he can still try to win her back. Chen grabs him by his shirt and scolds him. He tells him that he must stay clear-headed. The mistake is hers, not his. He tells him to pick up his self-respect and not become a licking dog. Wen falls to his knees and says he already knows all of this, but he does not know what to do. Chen looks at his miserable friend and says it is hard to accept. He asks him if he thinks she is just impulsive and not a bad person. Chen needs to teach him a lesson. He brings out his phone and dials a number. Wen asks him what he is talking about and whom he is planning to call. Chen tells Wen to trust him and let him handle the situation. He will make Leo kneel before him and repent. Chen calls Zhang Haosen and says he wants to borrow a few cars, noting that they are too expensive, just a few million each. He also asks him if he can contact some of his trustworthy friends to have them drive the cars over tomorrow. He replies that he will handle this matter properly for him. Wen wonders why there is a double cross involved in this. After that, Chen calls Zul and asks her if she is free tonight. He would like to meet up with her. He tells her the address and says he will wait for her there. Wen looks at his friend and says he seems to have changed a bit. In the evening, they meet in a restaurant. Wen is stunned to see Zul Li hugging Chen so openly. She says she missed him so much. Wen thinks that Chen made a single call and brought an 810 girl. He wonders if this is still the loyal licking dog he used to know. Chen introduces Wen to Zul. She asks Chen if he has called her so late just to introduce friends to her. But then she wonders if he is introducing her to his circle. She starts blushing, thinking he has her in his heart. Chen replies that he wants to ask her to help him with a play tomorrow. Maya is driving on the highway with Liu Jia. He tells her not to be gloomy. She will not be happy with that loser Lai Wen. He will get her a new bag for her birthday in a few days. She replies that words are easy to say, but considering the years of their relationship, Maya better treat her well in the future. Suddenly, a Ferrari overtakes them and applies brakes in front of his car. Maya applies the brakes just in time and avoids an accident. He yells at the guy in the Ferrari and asks him if he does not know how to drive appropriately. But then, he sees someone with perfect curves and shining wheels and a pair of unparalleled headlights stepping out of the red car. He becomes a Ferrari as nothing in front of her. Right after that, Wen steps out of the car. He is covered in luxury brands from head to toe. Dia is shocked to see him coming out of that luxury car. Li grabs him by his arm and says she is scared, as the new car he bought for her almost got hit by this guy. Wen is acting hesitantly and says that if it gets hit, he will buy her a new one. Maya looks at Wen and wonders how he turned out like this. Is he a hidden rich second generation? Jia looks at them and thinks for a second. She understands that they are acting. She yells at him and asks what he is trying to pretend. Wen tries to act cool but fails. He tells Zul to get in the car, as they still have a bit to go. Jia tells him she has known him for a long time and asks if he thinks she does not know about his background. She admits she is wrong, but aside from the facts, his performance today disgusts her. Zhang is in the car with Chen, listening to their conversation. He tells Chen that the woman has figured it out. Chen smiles and says it is not a problem. It is time to take the stage with his little brother. The real show is about to begin. After that, all the cars he borrowed drive toward their location. They reach there in no time and surround Maya. A guy in a white suit who knows Maya comes out of the car. He looks at Wen, pretends to be an old friend, and is surprised to see him there. Maya is shocked to see that guy. After that, all the other drivers come out of their cars. The guy in white named Bai walks toward Maya and asks if he recognizes him. Maya starts shaking due to some fear. Bai surrounds Maya and Jaya and asks if that guy told her that his name is Maya. His family owns a coal mine, and he studies in America. Bai grabs him by the head and tells Jia that this guy is a habitual liar. He pretends to be wealthy to deceive women into bed. He is nothing more than a gigolo. He laughs and asks her if she actually believes he is some rich second generation. Bowie says, Maya's tactics are so clumsy, he should have starved by now. But surprisingly, there are still naive girls falling for it. He adds that she does not even take a good look at herself. She does not even deserve to be with wealthy people. Those words fall like lightning on Jaya. Jia runs to beat Maya with her sandals and says he is worse than a dog and that she will kill him. Maya starts crying and apologizes to her. Seeing this, Wen tells Zul to go from there. Jia grabs him by his leg and tells him not to leave her behind. It is not that she admires vanity, but she is just afraid of being poor. She asks him for another chance, but he walks away saying she should not call him that way. He breaks up with her and tells her not to call him ever again. Maya finds a chance to run away, but Chen comes from the front and asks him where he is planning to slip away. He adds that letting him go is not impossible, but first he must give himself 100 slaps. After that, they all go to a pub to celebrate. Chen thanks everyone for their strong support. The others tell him not to be so formal, as Hyan's friends are his friends too. Bae gets closer to Chen and says he has heard Chen is a master on the Shark Live platform. He has a favor to ask Chen for help with. Chen asks what kind of favor it is. Bae says he has a favorite streamer he wants to support, but he has run out of money this month. He is wondering if Chen can help him a bit. Chen understands that they want to test his abilities again. He thinks that these wealthy folks always like to underestimate others. Bae gets embarrassed and tells Chen that Bae is just kidding and that he should not take it to heart. He tells Bae that supporting his girl is his own responsibility. It is unreasonable to expect Chen to foot the bill. Chen slams his glass on the table. The boys there think that he has gotten angry and wants to fight, but Chen unlocks his phone. He slides his phone toward Bae and says he is going to the bathroom. Bae can feel free to use his account as he likes. He tells him not to help him save money and to spend it freely. Then he goes to the washroom. Bae is surprised and wonders if Chen is letting him freely use his phone to browse, and if he is trusting him that much. Then he thinks that if they ask him to pay the bill, he might actually feel a bit reluctant. He is not tired of paying for gifts, since the system pays for them anyway. When he comes out of the washroom, he looks to see that all those guys are standing in a circle around Bae and are encouraging him to spend more. Chen comes there and asks what he is up to and what is going on with all this excitement and commotion. Bae starts sobbing and tells Chen to save the child. Chen takes his phone back and checks it. He says that he has been away for so long and Bae just spent less than 20 million. He calls him weak. All those around are struck and wonder what kind of identity this Chen has, and if his family is richer than the Tiandian banks. Bae sighs and says on a regular day he might earn a few tens of thousands, but surpassing 13 million is like brushing out several sports cars, and this is tearing his heart apart. Chen says that 20 million does not sound good. He says he will round it up to a neat 60 million for him. Bae tells him not to do this. He grabs his hand to prevent him from doing this and requests him to stop, as it is enough. He adds that she does not deserve so much money. Zhang asks Bae if he has realized he is not up to par. He tells them to raise a glass to Boss Chen. Bae says that he genuinely surrenders. He will follow Chen's lead from now on. A girl in the bar asks others who that person is. He seems quite influential. She recognizes one with white hair. He is Bae, killing from the white real estate. The other girl says it sounds like a gathering of the elite generation in the top circles of Seoul. If she joins any of them, her life after that would be worry-free. Another girl asks if the one called Chen is that mysterious person who went viral for brushing 1 billion. She says that his life is her dream. Chen receives a text. He tells others that he has something to attend to, so he will take off now. They will plan for another meetup next time. That text is from Zarir. She tells him she is in Seoul now and cannot wait to meet him. He replies that they can meet tomorrow. He laughs and says that after leaving her hanging for so long, it is time to reap a harvest of goodwill. Zarir lands at the airport the next day. She thinks that it is just a meeting. As long as she exudes a little charm, Chen will end up just another catch in her fish pond. Chen looks at the messages he received on his phone from Shadam. She tries to fish him and apologizes for her past mistakes. He deletes the messages and blocks her contact. Zaire asks him what he is looking at. They are having tea at a cafe at the airport. Chen replies that it is nothing. He asks her what she is talking about. She recalls that her boss strictly asked her to capture him, even if she stripped herself naked and sent him to his bed. This time, she thinks it is hateful that he can stay indifferent, even in the face of beauty at her level. She says that Chen is so young and rich that she wonders where he can get a higher position. System peeks at her and tells about her details. Her original name is Zuan, but her professional name is Zaire. She is 26 years old, and her appearance is 78 points. The girl's favorability towards the host is 60 points. Because of the too high favorability, it is unable to bind with her. Chen cringes and wonders if all his money went down the drain. It seems like he needs to lower the favorability first. He starts pretending to be silly and puts his pinky in his nostril. He tells her that she has got him wrong. He has just come here as an unemployed wanderer. Zaire feels embarrassed and asks him if he does not have a job. It seems Chen is probably running his own business or has a company. Otherwise, where does the confidence to spend lavishly come from? He replies that the money he used to buy gifts was from his dad. Now his dad's company has gone bankrupt because of his spending, owing the bank tens of millions. He grabs her hand and says he is meeting her to ask if she can refund some of the money spent on gifts. She feels sick of him suddenly, and her favorability drastically starts falling. She yells at him and asks if he is broke and why he is pretending to be rich here. She has had enough of him throwing attitude at her time and again. She asks him if he is a man. He is a disappointment, asking for money to be refunded. She yells that she must be out of her mind wasting time with a loser like him. She dials someone's number, calls him Lan, and tells him she is at the coffee shop outside the airport. She tells him to hurry up and come pick her up. There is a loser bothering her, and she is scared. Chen looks at her and smirks, thinking he has met practical women in reality. But seeing someone so realistic and shamelessly distorting facts is genuinely a first. After a while, Lan enters the cafe roaring. He asks if he does not know who runs this territory in Seoul as he is harassing his woman in broad daylight. Zeri runs towards him to hug him and says she is so scared that the pervert even grabbed her hand. Lan is surprised to see Chen there. He ignores her and runs towards Chen to shake hands. He asks him why he is here. He tells him that he is Che Lan, who followed Brother Bai to toast him yesterday. Chen replies that he remembers him. Lan says he regretted not having a few more drinks with him yesterday. Unexpectedly, he bumped into him here today. It is on him. He requests Chen to honor Lan by coming. Zaire is stunned to see that Lan is unexpectedly polite to Chen. Lan is a top-tier, rich second generation in Seoul with numerous family industries, well, connected and influential. Lan scolds her and says she is so stupid that she does not know that Chen is his eldest brother. He tells her that Chen has enough money to bury her whole family alive. She wonders if he has such a background. What was he doing a while ago? She realizes he was testing her sincerity, and she missed the opportunity. She thinks she must reclaim the moment. She apologizes to Chen and says she misunderstood him. The system notifies that the dog-licking relationship is successfully bound, and the title's heir will give him 20 strengthening points. Chen takes a sip from his cup, plays relaxed, and says he forgives her. She is young and inexperienced. He was just joking with her. She thanks him and says he is her favorite. Her favorability also increases towards him. Chen thinks that she is indeed a professional anchor. Her favorability will rise like chicken blood as long as she has money. Unfortunately, he will not simply let her go. Lan yells at her that he has boosted her popularity to millions, and he is treating his brother to this foreign soy milk. He tells Chen that they should make today an unexpected encounter. He is hosting, and Chen must honor them with his presence. Chen replies that it is not a problem at all. He will show him the respect he deserves. Chen opens his car door for him and makes him sit carefully. Zaire also runs to sit with him. She grabs his arm inside the car and keeps her chest close. She asks him if he is still angry with her. He replies that she is worrying for nothing. He looks at his screen. She wonders why he is using the Shark Live app. Anchors live stream and sends her multiple gifts. She is shocked to see him. Chen keeps tapping the gift icon and almost sends 3,000 gifts. Even the host of that live stream feels stunned and falls unconscious. Zaire is stunned as it is her first time seeing someone receive gifts this quickly. She worries that the money should have been hers if she had seized the opportunity. She understands that this man is playing with her. However, the way he spends money is really good for her. She thinks that if his fingers were not tapping the screen, it might be hitting her body. Her favorability towards him increases unimaginably. Lan brings Chen to the most famous private restaurant in Seoul. It's called Black Pearl, and it is a 3-star restaurant. Lan says this place operates on a members-only reservation system, ensuring high privacy. But the most renowned aspects of this restaurant are its 3 main highlights. Chen says that one is the outstanding food, the other is the unique scenery, and asks, what about the third one? Lan says that Chen is genuinely experienced. He got the first two right. The third highlight is the boss's daughter, Xiao Yuki. Xiao is sitting there playing an instrument. When she looks at Chen, he's also shaken up to see her there. Xiao glances at Zer holding his arm, and her favorability for him decreases by 5 points. She gets furious and breaks her musical instrument. Her eyes tear up and she runs away from there. He is worried now as Xiao's side was so close to staging a counterattack. He wonders if it is going to overturn at a critical moment. He chases after her and catches her in the corridor. She yells at him that he toys with her emotions and asks him to let her go. Chen thinks that if this continues, the sensitivity will be lost. He has no choice but to risk it. He plays the victim and asks her if she has watched the 4. She cries and asks why he is bringing up movies when she is talking about her affair. He replies that he is the tomato tycoon. He lights a cigarette, takes a puff, and exhales them. Smoke in the air as he wants to show himself as a victim of unbearable life and responsibilities. He tells her that she should know about his extraordinary family background. She must be wondering why he has been content with a mundane life. He says that in the secluded family he belongs to, there is an unwritten rule that once the heir turns 18, they must spend 10 billion within a month to inherit the entire 50 billion family fortune. So, he strives to spend the money diligently. He has invested in many projects, engaged in various investments and charitable activities, and participated in various environmental protection initiatives. Girl earlier was a streamer. He tipped to keep spending money. He had to stage a little drama. He grabs Xiao's hand and says this matter is known only to her. He does not expect her understanding. It is just that this secret has weighed on him for too long. He bids her goodbye and tells her to take care of herself. Then he leaves her there and walks away. Xiao thinks that she must have been causing unnecessary trouble. He has been working so hard contemplating the inheritance of the family fortune. She cannot believe she doubted him. She runs after him and hugs him from behind. She says she does not want to say goodbye and asks him not to leave her. It is her mistake to accuse him wrongly. She thinks he genuinely cares about her. If he reveals secrets like the family inheritance, her favorability level increases. Her current level is 92. They both return to the others with smiles on their faces. Xiao tells them that they do not need to apologize. Her mood was off earlier, affecting everyone's meal. Chen is her friend too, so she will cover this meal. Lan is impressed by Chen to see that it only took him 5 minutes to sort it out. Zaire is jealous and thinks that Xiao is acting all high and mighty, making it seem like she is the main consort, but it is still unclear who will end up with the upper hand. She asks Chen who that sister is, as he has not introduced her to them yet. Xiao tells her not to call him brother. He is probably younger than her considering her age. Lan looks at both ladies and says it is not a battle on the same level. It is a complete one-sided domination. Chen tells them to stop fighting, start eating. He is hungry. Lan is trembling to see that he is not even angry. He admits that Chen's methods are genuinely mysterious and cunning. On one side is the famous shark anchor, rich brother, a reaper of wealth. On the other side is a locally renowned talented woman with aspirations higher than the sky. Lan says that Chen's maneuvers have already surpassed the so-called art of charming women. He is practically a male succubus. Originally, Lan was conquered by his wealth, but now Chen is becoming his spiritual idol. He says that he will follow him to the death. Ben returns to his campus. He thinks that the restaurant is so expensive, but fortunately, it was not he who paid the money. Suddenly, he remembers to check the current progress of his strategy. He looks at the profile of Zaire and Xiao and finds that the favorability levels are already relatively high. He wonders if it is time to push for more progress aggressively. Suddenly he sees another profile and wonders who this is. He looks at the picture and recalls that she is Young's girlfriend. Initially, it was only a 25-point favorability level, but now it is 76. He has not seen an increase this much in a few days. He wonders if his charm is that impressive. While he is busy checking the progress, his roommates run somewhere. One says that he has heard someone confessing to a girl downstairs. The other laughs and asks if it is a pure love warrior charging into battle for love. Chen hears these words and finds them attractive. Someone outside the hostile buildings is confessing his love to his lover in a fancy way. He also sings a song for her. It is young. He tells his girlfriend that he was wrong. He should not have been mean to her and should not have treated her with cold violence. He tells her to think about their beautiful past and give him another chance. His girlfriend, Xing, finds this offensive. Chen also comes there to see that and is surprised to see Yang, who is rehearsing for the ex-lover drama here. Jing looks at Chen and runs towards him, completely ignoring Yang Gong. He cries and asks her where she is going. She asks Chen if his anime is Chen Yuan. She is happy after finally finding him. Today is her lucky day. She forwards her mobile and asks him if she can add him on WeChat. She begs him not to reject her. The crowd wonders what is happening there and why there is another guy. They say that it hurts to see Yang Gong losing. Yang Gong is furious. Instead, he asks why it is Chen Yuan. He refuses to accept it. Jing has disappointed him so much. Chen looks at him and asks him if he senses frustration. He finds it incomprehensible and feels that Jan is inconsistent. Yang asks him what he means by that and why he still humiliates him. Chen tells him honestly that he has always envied Yang, with his handsome appearance and athletic prowess, effortlessly winning the hearts of the opposite sex. He seems to take girls' love for granted, but when he realizes he has lost that aura, he panics. His mind is filled with a desire for victory and success. Yet, he overlooks his girlfriend's feelings. Yang Gong pushed her away bit by bit with his own hands. At this point, playing the pitiful card to seek reconciliation, he must feel like he has become a clown. Yang grabs his head and starts crying. He admits that he is wrong and the one to blame. The crowd is stunned to find that this is not a case of a third party intervening. Cold violence is indeed beneath dignity. When they were together, there was no consideration or kindness. What's the use of trying to salvage things now? Jing is emotional to see that he understands her. Her favorability increases to 91 points. Uzopi is also in the crowd and wonders about Chen's relationship with that girl. He turns to tell Xiao. He enters the room and yells that Chen is cheating on her. She almost gets scared by his sudden entrance. She tells him that he must stop messing around. Anyone can cheat, but Chen Yuan cannot. It is impossible. He replies that there is a girl downstairs confessing to Chen Yuan. They were exchanging meaningful glances. Xiao says that Chen Yuan cannot control others' expression of their feelings. Besides, it does not necessarily mean anything significant. He shows her the news and asks her how she explains this. Chen is lavishly spending money on other women. She replies that Chen has told her about it, and the total amount he spent is more than 30 million. Uzopi is shocked to hear that Chen gave the female anchors gifts and has told her about it. She replies, "It is true. Trust is the foundation of any relationship." She pats his head and tells him never to mind it. He has been single since birth, so he will not understand this kind of telepathy of the heart. After that, she starts singing. Uzopi wonders how such a sensible person ended up acting so foolish. Chen is yawning as he is feeling sleepy. His friend, China, asks him to focus and asks, "Who gets sleepy during a murder mystery game?" Chen replies that he did not want to come in the first place. He begged him to come here. Those girls there ask how or why he is being so loud. He might scare Chen Yuan. They just enjoy watching Chen Yuan sleep. One of them asks him if he has some time for her tonight. The other says that Chen seems tired and asks if he wants her to buy him a hazelnut tea. Taya tells him that if he does not come, these girls will not come either. A handsome guy like him will not understand the struggles of the ordinary guy. Chen points at Shang and asks Taya to explain why she is here. Shang is acting well in the play. She sobs and says she abandoned her childhood sweetheart and ran away with the wealthy man. Then she got killed, but she feels she deserves it. There is no need to look for a culprit. She deserves this punishment. Her classmate tells her to calm down and says they cannot continue playing this way. Tao tells Chen that if Lin Shutong hears that he is around, it is tough for Tao to avoid tagging along. He asks Chen what is wrong with her. He has also heard that she has been seeing a doctor lately. It is related to some health issues. Chen wonders if he went too far. Although she deeply hurt him, She also sincerely desires repentance. After forming a connection, he wonders if he is being too harsh, even if she is at fault and bears guilt. Suddenly, some random girl comes to him and says there is a rumor at school that he is the online sensation, Mr. Smokey. She asks if it is true because his online handles are the same. A man comes there instantly and says, if Chen Yuan is Mr. Smokey, he will take his head off and use it as a ball. That guy keeps going and says that Mr. Smokey has flaunted an incredible billion on Shark. But Chen Yuan is not even worth comparing himself to Mr. Smokey. Chen recognizes that guy. That guy goes to Shutong and introduces himself. His name is Lu No, and he owns this shop. He has noticed her for a while. He asks her if she would like to exchange WeChat contacts. Chen remembers that Lu No was his rival in high school. He often bullied him, taking advantage of his wealthy and influential family. He thinks that if he wants to show off, he will let him do it thoroughly. Fortunately, he does not want to be too high profile in front of his classmates. He also wants to give a stress test on someone. Chen moves forward and says he wants to introduce this guy to everyone. This wealthy guy is Lu No, his high school classmate. He is currently studying at a prestigious university and runs his own company with assets in the millions. He can be considered a genuinely high-profile, wealthy individual. All his classmates are charmed by Yao. As for Chen Yuan, he is not precisely Mr. Smokey. His family recently received some compensation from a demolition, around 3 to 5 million. There has been a misunderstanding. Lu No is surprised that Chen has a few million in family assets. Shutong is shocked to know that Chen is not Mr. Smokey. She thinks that, on one side, there is an elite with assets in the millions. Conversely, someone with some money used to have feelings for her. Her favorability starts to decrease drastically and reaches 15 points. She adds Lu No on her WeChat instantly. Lu No tells Chen Yuan that the world is strange. The girl Chen introduced Edit Yato on WeChat. He whispers in Chen's ear that in the past, hitting him was like beating a dog. Now he can only be stepped on by Yao. Then he tells his waiter that Chen Yuan is his classmate. He has made him very happy today, so the bill for his table is free. Chen puts his hands on his face and laughs hysterically. His classmates wonder what has happened to him. Suddenly he tells them that he is okay. It is just that he suddenly understood some things. He thinks he gave Shutong the opportunity she wanted. But unfortunately, a leopard cannot change its spots. He will not sympathize with her because she does not deserve it. Chen leaves the cafe. Lu No asks him why he is leaving so soon. He tells him they are having a high school reunion tomorrow at Kyushu restaurant. He asks Chen if he is daring enough to come there. He replies that since Lu No has invited him, he will come. At the reunion, Lu No tells everyone to enjoy food and drinks today. He will cover all expenses. He also says that those guys do not help him save money. It is meant to be spent. His friends praise him and say Lu No is generous. He welcomes them and tells them to give him a nice word when Ruo comes later. One stands and says he and Ruo are a perfect match. Talented and beautiful. They will all support him and help him succeed. Chen thinks that you never misses any opportunity to show off. After a while, Ruo enters the room. She apologizes for keeping everyone waiting. She says the driver at home took a day off today, so she took a taxi and arrived late. Chen looks at Ruo and thinks she is the only white moonlight that could illuminate his life. During the 3 years of high school, she is so mysterious and noble, like an unsolvable equation that makes all the boys in the school lose their composure. Chen goes to her and asks if he can add her on WeChat for easier communication. Yao gets irritated to see Chen doing this. He thinks he will make him regret that in no time. Royo thinks she has seen him somewhere before and replies that it's no problem. They can exchange contacts. With this, the boot-licking relationship was established, and she has an appearance score of 9.2. Someone shouts from the middle of the table that Chen Yuan has never been anything special, so why is he being so bold? One of the girls says that he's pretending to be rich and is actually shameful. She warns everyone that Chen Yuan hangs out with some second-generation rich kids who harm many women. One of Chen Yuan's friends says that she has no idea what she's talking about. She says that Chen Yuan made her get humiliated by her ex-boyfriend. I think it was that guy who delivered the car and made her suffer. Crying. She says she is sure that Chen Yuan only asks for Ruo's number to sell it to his friends. Ruo looks on and starts losing favorability because of this. I takes the opportunity to ask Chen Yuan if he is so poor that he needs to lean on others, and if he wants, he has a job for him. Chen Yuan, seeing the two insulting him at the same time, thinks that they are plotting together. But if they are showing their faces, he will have to step on them. He sends a message to Hen, telling him to come to this restaurant with a Ferrari. A while later, everyone is going downstairs to leave. Yi is confident that Chen Yuan and his friend will never show up here again. He asks Ruo if she wants him to take her home, but she declines. An attendant approaches Ai, asking him to move his car, and he gets angry. How come he has to move it from the restaurant parking lot? The guy tries to explain that after 9:00 p.m., the restaurant is reserved for VIPs only. I wonders who this so-called VIP is. Sitting in his car, he is impressed. In front of him is a Ferrari, one he has only seen in exhibits costing over 20 million. Suddenly, he sees Zhang Hosen getting out of the car and recognizes him. He starts sweating and feels embarrassed because he has heard how important this guy is. But then, Chen Yuan greets Hosen, who smiles. He thanks Hosen for bringing his car, and Hosen says it's always good to help the boss. Ai is in disbelief, wondering, wait a minute, this car belongs to Chen Yuan. People start questioning if Chen Yuan is really that rich, and the girls say that the one girl had lied, claiming he needed others. Ruo immediately realizes that this girl and Ai are trying to tarnish Chen Yuan's reputation. However, despite being humiliated, he didn't bother defending himself against these people. She finds this quite interesting, and her favorability rises by 20 points. Seeing this, the rascal smiles and asks her if he could have the honor of escorting her home. She agrees. The class is now all in love with Chen Yuan, and his friends take the chance to poke fun at him. I will image photos of a busy avenue, copy, and paste them inside. Ruo feels a bit uneasy. Perhaps she was too hasty in getting into this car. Chen Yuan tells her that he has been paying attention to the pendant on her bag. It's a diet. She is impressed that he recognizes it. It's a character from a Chinese cartoon. He tells her that he loves watching that series and seeing the transformations. And she says she has always liked it too. She glances at him, feeling a bit embarrassed and smiling, while he thinks she's very cute. Perhaps her cold attitude is just a protective measure. Seeing her beautiful face makes it irresistible to want to protect her. The boy didn't last 3 words. He says he is experiencing the feeling of love for the first time in his life. At her house, he makes a gesture representing that, and she thanks him for bringing her home. They stand there like 2 idiots, laughing as he leaves. She says that he is interesting, different from the rich guys. He doesn't try to boss her around and just has fun. She then enters her house and is immediately scolded by her mother, who wants to know how the blind date her mother set up went. She must remember that her father's business is at a crucial moment, and they have no choice. However, Ruo cries, saying she won't marry just to help the company. Her feelings are important. But her mother says it is her duty since everything she eats or wears is paid for by them. If her father's company goes bankrupt, they will all be ruined. The boy from the Han family may not seem that interesting, but the situation is more important than feelings. Crying, she says she understands, and a tear falls on the little doll. Chen Yuan is just watching the group of millionaires when the guy with the car mentions he has some crazy news. Chen Yuan gets curious. Then he finds out that Ruo is going to marry a chubby guy with horrible hair just because of her family's bankruptcy. He starts wondering if he got involved in this whole mess, but remembering her, he questions whether she will really get married. Ever since high school, he couldn't take his eyes off her. No, he won't let this happen. This time he will be decisive and won't let life pass him by like this. A girl with glasses asks if it was Chen Yuan passing by, and the guy says it seems like it was indeed him. Suddenly she stops him, introduces herself as Shen Shu, and asks if he wants to become an internet celebrity. Chen Yuan takes a look at the car and apologizes, saying he's not interested. She responded so quickly that she believes he has already received offers from other companies and decides to try something different. Carrying 3 bags full of content, She starts talking about how their company is huge and extremely competitive in terms of the payment they offer. Besides, he might not know, but on their platform, they have the famous loose cigarette. If he doesn't sign with them, he better be careful not to be hated by the cigarette guy. Chen Yuan gets angry. The damn girl doesn't even know he is the loose cigarette and is here wasting his time. She's in his face while he wonders if she thinks he won't do anything. So he grabs his phone, thinking that since he won't do anything, someone else will do it for him. He goes to the rich kids group and talks about her name and her company, asking if anyone can help and resolve this. She keeps insisting when her boss calls her, ordering her to return to the company immediately or she will be out of a job. Confused, she tells her boss she didn't do anything. Meanwhile, Chen Yuan is just angry with this hand group trying to steal Ruo from him. In the car, the mother says they are just going to meet. She doesn't mean to be so sad. She doesn't mean to be so sad. Besides, this will help a lot with the financial crisis. Suddenly, she receives a message from Chen Yuan asking where she is. She mentions the restaurant, and he says he'll be there to help her. She wonders if Chen Yuan already knows about the blind date. If she were to compare that disgusting hand guy with Chen Yuan, he seems much more attractive. Her father says he has never asked her for anything, so he hopes she will consider things. Everyone in the car stays silent, and she says she understands. The car then stops in front of the luxurious restaurant, and someone comes to guide them. However, the guy is already drooling, saying that soon she will become the property of the Han family. Seeing a briefcase in the guy's hand, she finds it strange that they are bringing so many documents to a blind date. They then enter the room. The father of the Han family greets them with his son, Pineapple Head, who is already drooling on the side. Ruo immediately notices a lot of documents on the table. This is clearly not a blind date. She wants to know what her father is planning. That father is filthy trash, right? You can't sell your daughter, even if you're eating dirt and mud. Ruo knows how influential this group is in the city, and Sanu, Pineapple Head's father, is a very perverse guy. He approaches Ruo and says she is much prettier in person. She says she doesn't deserve such compliments while sending a message to Chen Yuan, informing him that she is in room 35. Pineapple Head approaches her, saying he is excited about their relationship and that she doesn't need to worry. Her family's business will be very successful. She pulls her hand away, saying thanks awkwardly. He puts his hand on her back, saying she doesn't need to be polite, and gives her a squeeze, saying they will be family. But she slaps him, asking who said they would become family, and tells him to take his hand off. The worst father she has ever seen argues with her, saying she's being rude. With tears in her eyes, she doesn't have much to say. Her father turns to Sanu and says that his daughter is very young and doesn't know what's best for her, but they can take a look at the contract. A man arrives and begins to explain all the details. They will buy 20 of her father's company for 100 million, on the condition that she marries Pineapple Head. However, this money will be invested in stocks they control, and they will only be able to access the 100 million once she gives birth to a child with Pineapple Head. She is shocked and immediately grabs the document, asking if they are seriously talking about having a child in this. She cries, looking at her father, asking if he really brought her there to sell her this way. Her mother tells her to calm down, but she refuses. Crying, she asks why their failure has to affect her life. She declares that she knows Pineapple Head is addicted to alcohol, prostitution, and gambling. She will never marry him. The disgraceful father slaps her across the face, leaving her in disbelief with a red cheek. This story is getting better than a Mexican soap opera, folks. Her father yells that he spoiled her too much and she only thinks of herself. He raised a child. Apparently, she is confused by his words, saying she only thinks of herself. Her mother says she needs to be more sincere and understand that if she doesn't do this, the whole family will collapse. But Ruo argues that it doesn't make sense. If things go wrong, they can start over together and rebuild everything. Her mother shows that she is also despicable and falls to her knees, begging her daughter, begging her to have mercy on her poor mother. Everyone in the room is shocked by this. Ruo tells her to get up and asks what she's doing. But her mother says she has no other choice. She will only get up if Ruo agrees to this. Ruo doesn't know what to say. The poor girl is lost. Pineapple Head says she can trust him to deliver the heavens and stars to her. At this moment, the poor girl gives up and realizes that this is her fate. Being born into this rich family means she has to sacrifice certain parts of her life. Without any expression, she tells her mother she will accept, and her mother can get up immediately. Her mother's tears stop as genuinely as my promise to stop looking at 3Ds on family-friendly sites. She stands up, congratulating her daughter. Sanu says that now that she's agreed, they should sign the contract immediately. The guy starts taking the documents out of the briefcase, while Sanu says this will be great. As soon as the marriage happens, their company will boom. Meanwhile, Pineapple Head is now licking his lips, angry that she initially refused to accept, already imagining the fun he will have with her. Everyone in the room is silent while she doesn't even sit in the chair. But suddenly, Chen Yuan arrives, kicking the door open. The first to notice is Ruo, and no one in the room can believe it. Chen Yuan says they are very brave and have lost their sense of danger to be doing this. Ruo is ecstatic to see him. Pineapple Head comes running, asking if he is tired of living, but he immediately gets a slap and falls, breaking everything in the room. Chen Yuan calls him a fool and tells him to disappear. The guard asks if he has any idea who he is messing with, and if he knows the status of the family present. Chen Yuan laughs, saying it's a family that sells their daughter and another that buys her. He wants to see who has the courage to touch him. Sanu tells everyone to be quiet while thinking about how this kid knows they are there, and still does this. He realizes this boy is not that simple. He then approaches and asks Chen Yuan which family he is from, to which he replies that he is not qualified to know. Pineapple Head tries to shout, but his father tells him to shut up. Chen Yuan looks at Ruo and tells her she can relax because he will help her family's difficulties. He goes to the table to look at the contract, while her father asks what he is doing. Chen Yuan says her father is suffering from brain failure for selling his daughter at such a low price. He tears up the papers saying he will buy 60 of their company for 500 million. People can't believe it. 500 million. Sanu starts sweating, realizing that for someone to spend 500 million like that, their family must be worth at least 10 billion. However, he can't figure out where this kid came from, even though he knows all the families around here. Ruo's father gets excited about such a large sum of money. Not only can he restore the company, but he can even expand it. But Chen Yuan says that to provide the 500 million, he has one condition. He points to Ruo, who wonders if he really wants to buy her for that price. She drops her bag to the floor, feeling desolate, thinking that Chen Yuan is just like all the others. In the end, once again, she cries over her little doll. Then Chen Yuan reveals that his condition is that 60 of the company must be transferred to her name. As soon as she has more than half of the company, he will transfer the 500 million. Now she is radiant, feeling like a bird released from its cage. Double meaning yes or no. She sees Chen Yuan as a hero, and obviously her favorability starts to rise and rise, instantly reaching 85. A guy arrives with a contract and says all she needs to do is sign it. He gently holds her hand, saying that after she signs this, she will have control over her own life. Immediately, the money is transferred to the accounts of the worst family members in the world, who become emotional. Her father asks Chen Yuan if he really will only ask for this, and Chen Yuan says that's all. However, he warns that from now on, he controls the rise or fall of their family, and it's best if her father does nothing more to cause Ruo pain. He tells her there's nothing left to be said, and they should leave. Sanu suddenly changes his mind, saying he really recognizes Chen Yuan's hard work and tells him not to take what his son did to heart, while imagining that he is some kind of money god for spending 500 million out of nowhere. Seeing this, her father knows it wouldn't be smart to become his adversary. Pineapple Head starts yelling at his father, saying that he was the first to be hit, and now he gets hit a second time for being a fool. As he is being beaten, Chen Yuan walks out the door with Ruo. Sometime later, in the Ferrari, she thanks him for saving her. He says nothing has changed. It's not the first time he has saved her. In a flashback, Ruo was riding her bike home, worried she wouldn't meet anyone strange. Of course, she met the most honest people in society who wanted to talk to her. One of them even offered ear cleaning. But from afar, someone was running toward her, and he arrived, headbutting one in the stomach. While holding off the guys, he told her she could run and not look back. She ran while Chen Yuan stayed there getting beaten. She was so desperate at the time that she didn't remember his face. Later, she returned with the police to the same place, but the boy was already gone. Crying her eyes out, she says she never imagined she would find the person who saved her. Once she gets all excited, saying she never expected it would be him. Another 10 favorability points are added. And with that, we reach the legendary 95, and the counterattack is ready. The system detects that he spent $500 million to bootlick her, and in return, he will gain $50 million for himself. Moreover, he gains several attribute points: proficiency in English, French, Russian, and Korean. Good heavens, he became a polyglot. Chen Yuan is amazed the system worked, and the deal was quick this time. Staring at her, he thinks it's too good to be true. He never had the courage to talk to her and could only watch from a distance. The only time he could do something was to save her, but it was an action that always brought him pride. He takes a look, and they get closer to feel each other's breath when, of course, the phone rings, and they separate. It's Yuan, and now it's complicated. She says she has already moved into the house and bought some furniture. Does he know what day tomorrow is? He says yes. Tomorrow is her birthday, and he has already bought several presents. While thinking, it's a critical moment in the middle of the house with the changes. She asks him not to be too extravagant when meeting her friends. He says it's fine. He will think about what to bring as a gift, while her friend just wants to set up the furniture. She never revealed it, but she finds it wonderful to have a house worth $60 million. Crazy in the head. Chen Yuan says his friend is organizing a birthday party and asks if she wants to go. His strategy is that he leaves things very exposed. No one will doubt him since he isn't hiding anything. However, she tells him not to worry and to go ahead. She has plenty to handle, but she isn't foolish and isn't asking questions. She knows won't get answered. He says it's a pity because she would be the most beautiful one there. She replies that when she has a chance, she will visit, but he's just being polite. He knows that if she really accepts, things will get complicated. Meanwhile, she is confident in her charm, believing she can win, even if there are more beautiful women. She loves competition. Getting out of the car, she thanks Chen Yuan for everything he did today. He tells her that if she feels bad for not being able to accompany him today, she can repay him in another way. She gives him a $500 million kiss on the cheek. However, she warns him that now he is marked by her and belongs to her. Chen Yuan suffers as he's getting back in the car, thinking about going home to play some games. Someone suddenly asks if that's his car. When he looks back, it's Chuang, shocked with her thumb out. The door closed and the car on the road. She was ignored. Her friend then says it looks like he lied last time and was just testing her again. Chuang is shocked for the 10th time. She messed up again and asks her friend what she should do to get him back. Her friend says it's not possible. She missed her chance, but maybe she can. Chuang is stunned. She gets angry, asking if she really is thinking of trying something with Chen Yuan. Her friend says he is amazing, so why wouldn't she try, since Chuang can't anymore? Chuang starts radiating like Goku, pulling her hair, and now they're fighting over nothing. Our boy just closed the door. They're fighting, getting uglier and uglier, lying on the ground with everyone recording. A while later, she is desolate, having lost the man, and her friend can keep improving. The distance between them keeps growing, and this way, she has no more chance. Suddenly, someone tells her to stop crying. It's Shen Shu from Dreamin', asking if she's interested in becoming an internet celebrity, and that she knows a way to help her get Chen Yuan back. At home, Chen Yuan is just wondering what to give Kiki as a present when, just as he was about to leave his room, one of his friends mentions that Chuang was starting a live stream. In the stream, she talks about everything that happened between her and the top spender on that platform. She tells everyone how their relationship started a long time ago, but after everything they went through together, he didn't want her anymore. Chen Yuan is angry. While his friend is curious if she really was with that rich guy, but our protagonist is already furious. She still wants to play the victim, but he thinks this plan doesn't suit her. There's definitely someone behind it. He then calls one of his friends and asks about who is sponsoring her live stream. Shortly after, he calls one of his friends and asks about who is sponsoring her live stream. Shortly after, he is informed that it's Dreamland Sheen's company. Chen Yuan is outraged. The damn girl provoked him and now thinks he won't do anything. At Dreamland Shen, Shu is impressed that her live stream was so successful on its first try. When she proposed this idea to her boss, she was reprimanded. But one of her employees found out about his childhood love, Lin Shutong, and that's where she saw the chance to win him over. She thinks she is a genius. Then, she gets a call from her boss informing her that their company has been banned from the platform. He went to the group of billionaires and told everyone to be careful and remove any investments or involvement with that company, since that group is only for the ultra-rich who trust each other. Everyone just followed the information and made several calls to withdraw everything they had. This caused a storm in the place, and in the end, they were banned from everything and had to terminate operations. One of the guys came to inform her that since everyone withdrew their investments, it would need 10 million to keep the place running. But they didn't have that. She was trembling and furious, wondering who was messing with her. Seeing the initial downfall of the company, some investors came to talk to her and withdrew everything they had. Even the streamers working for her left since it wasn't worth staying at a banned company without any investors. The company also lost the lease they had, leaving with boxes in hand and place desolate. She didn't know what to do. She was sure that to have so much power, it could only be Mr. Yuan. But why did he do that? Even Chuang was banned from the platforms, all obviously because of the bald contacts he had. Now, it was time to buy something for Kiki when suddenly, Shu smacked her face against the glass, giving him a scare. With tears in her eyes, she said she was foolish and begged for forgiveness. And with that, the counterattack began. With zero favorability. However, he thought he wasn't interested in an older woman. Even though she always came back from the market with 2 giant bags, he lowered his head. The window, in full gigachad mode, told her it would be best if she didn't bother him anymore. Strangely, she collapsed to the ground, reeling and wondering why she hadn't realized he was so handsome, especially when he spoke so coldly to her. Her favorability increased, and he sped up the Ferrari on the road. At Kiki's mansion, her friends were all impressed with the new house. Suddenly, one of them questioned. A girl with green hair asked if that place was really her house. As far as she had heard, the owner of the place was an old man. Kiki's friend told them to shut up, saying it was ridiculous to think she would be with an old man. However, the girl's boyfriend said it was true, and the owner of the house even had a 12-year-old daughter. Everyone started thinking that the house wasn't hers, but just a favor from an old man. But her friends slapped the paper on the table, showing that she was the sole owner of the place. People started believing that she had really bought it with her live stream earnings. Meanwhile, Kiki was feeling insecure, wondering why he hadn't arrived yet. He got out of the Ferrari with a teddy bear in hand. He parked his car far away to avoid drawing too much attention. Suddenly, he heard something coming from behind, and a car almost ran over his foot. It stopped in front of everyone, who wondered if it was a guy named Tang. The blonde guy named Tang Xuan got out of the car and ordered someone to park it for him. At that moment, he noticed Chen Yuan on the side. He wondered if Kiki had really invited this sewer rat to the party. Not to mention, he brought a teddy bear, which was ridiculous. Suddenly, Kiki shouted that he had finally arrived. As the two turned, she said she had been waiting for a long time. Tang Yuan, all gleaming, said it was so good to see her happy like that, but she dodged him. She went straight to Chen Yuan, who brought the teddy bear for her and thanked him. Everyone started commenting on how the fool was ignored, while he wondered why she was giving attention to this kid. Suddenly, a red truck passed behind him, and he thought the perfect chance had come. He told Kiki he brought a gift that he was sure she would like. While the guys were unloading some things from the truck, he thought that Rat should have stayed in the sewer and would now learn the difference between them. He gave her a Yamaha F6 piano and said he thought it was perfect for the star of the day. Did she like the gift? She said she did, but the piano was very expensive, so she would transfer the money back. He said it was okay because the value was nothing to him. Besides, he had composed a piece just for her. The girls were all smitten and excited to see what he would show, and he started playing the keys, music here and there. The other girls kept saying the two were a perfect match with that piano talent. Kiki strangely complimented him, saying she couldn't compare to such talent, and he said she was flattering him too much. He then turned to Chen Yuan and asked why he didn't show a bit of his talent. Chen Yuan smiled, realizing the guy wanted to embarrass him, and said he would then show a bit of what he knew. Kiki wondered if Chen Yuan really knew how to play the piano, but obviously he knew nothing. However, with 35 enhancement points, any skill could be improved. The system notified him that it would take 10 points to learn, and he used them immediately while thinking he would make that guy look foolish. He asked the system for 50 years of piano experience. He started glowing at the piano, and Xuan noticed his vibe had changed. He started playing, and the guy was stunned. It was the same piece he had just played, but the kid had already memorized it. Chen Yuan was confident, saying the surprise was yet to come. He started accelerating the music even more without missing a single note. The boy was on fire. People were sweating, wondering if it was normal, and if he had 4 hands by any chance. He had to be the new Beethoven in front of them. In their minds, to have that talent, Chen Yuan must have undergone brutal training. He was like a machine gun, firing at each note. When he finished, smoke even rose from the boy. At the party, everyone was silent. Like the legendary loose cigarette, he pulled one from the pack and placed it on the piano string, which was so hot it lit the cigarette. The Chinese no limits. He put his hand on Xuan's shoulder and told him, "Your skills are good. Just keep working hard." He then placed the cigarette in the guy's mouth and said that playing the piano was about expressing emotions, not creating competition. The guy seemed to fall in love, saying he understood. Everyone was impressed, and suddenly Kiki made a mischievous face, saying she had chosen the right person. Sitting on the couch, she thought he was a treasure among men, and her favorability kept rising. It finally reached 95, and now the counterattack was successful, automatically evolving him to a level 60 piano maestro. Kiki was now becoming a loyal follower of the boy. Since he spent 78 million on her, he received 7 million on her, he received 7 million in return. The guy was finally managing to take advantage of this system to get rich. With 25 more enhancement points, he didn't even know where to use them. Suddenly, someone came from behind, saying he was full of incredible surprises. It was Kiki, saying he made her very happy that night. He said that this performance was his second gift, so how would she thank him? A new girl appeared. Kim Bing-soo, known as the Ice Beauty. She wasn't famous for her looks, but for her hostile attitude toward all men. Because of this, everyone speculated she was a lover of women. Besides, she was always close to the president, so they even thought they had a relationship. But the truth is that she was kidnapped in her childhood. Even though the police arrived in time and nothing happened, it created a trauma in her. And since then, she hates men. Kiki asked Chen Yuan who he thought was more beautiful between the two. He told Kiki that, of all the women he had met, she was the most beautiful, while thinking he wanted to avoid women like Bing-soo as much as possible because they're all crazy. At that moment, Kiki called her friend over to meet him. She apologized, saying she was stuck in traffic. Kiki quickly introduced Chen Yuan, who asked if he was the guy who had played the piano. He said yes, but she said she had heard he was the type of guy who had relationships with several girls. Really, a man with no morals, even if he had some talent. Chen Yuan wanted to strangle her, but Kiki told him to calm down, saying she had always been like that. However, the system doesn't forgive, and another target was found. Kim Bing-soo, 25 years old, 52 kilos and 9.3 in appearance, with -80 in favorability. You would gain combat skills if he completed everything. Chen Yuan threw the system on the ground, saying that last time it was the ant, and now it's another woman. He doesn't want to bootlick. The night passed, and it was time for the birthday wishes. She celebrated, they cut the cake, and everyone was happy until Bing-soo called Kiki for a little chat outside. She warned Kiki that it would be good for her to stay away from Chen Yuan. Kiki asked why. Bing-soo said that Chen Yuan was involved with many girls, and she didn't want to see her friend in a toxic relationship. Besides, she was about to graduate and wanted to pass the president's position to her. Kiki seemed to want that president's position. She remembered that when she arrived, she always competed with Bing-soo, and they argued a lot. But now in the end, Bing-su wanted to pass the president's position to her. Were the rumors about Bing-su true? Was she looking for some fun in the capital? Embarrassed, Kiki responded that she really didn't deserve the position, and it was better to find someone else. But Bing-su approached and said that love really blinds people because Kiki wasn't acting like the person she knew. Kiki said she was even thinking about leaving the student council to spend more time with Chen Yuan. Bing-su got angry, saying she was losing all ambition and being stupid because of that guy. Her favorability kept dropping while he wondered if he couldn't even eat cake without losing points. The party was about to end, and everyone was leaving. Suddenly, she told Chen Yuan to wait a minute. There was something she wanted to tell him. He was about to leave, thinking she was getting more adorable with more favorability. All she did was invite him to watch a movie tomorrow. He thought she was inviting him for some Netflix and chill. Suddenly, he heard someone crying in the background. It was Yuan, leaning against his car, devastated and wondering why he had practiced piano his whole life. Chen Yuan felt awkward seeing the guy there and went to talk to him, surprising him. The guy was startled and asked what he wanted. Chen Yuan said he had just lost a piano duel, which wasn't a big deal. He felt awkward because he humiliated the guy using the system. However, Yuan interpreted it differently and thought he was being belittled. Chen Yuan said that wasn't the case, but Yuan replied, saying he admitted Chen Yuan's skills were good. However, it didn't matter because his family was extremely wealthy, and he had everything good. He pulled out his car key and said he was sure Chen Yuan was a poor guy who didn't even have a place to fall dead. But Chen Yuan was heading to the Ferrari. The poor guy even broke his car key lying on the ground. He wondered why the god wore simple clothes and drove a Ferrari. As he was leaving, wondering what movie to watch with Kiki tomorrow, he suddenly saw Bing-su standing in the middle of nowhere. She clearly looked cold, and he imagined she might catch a cold. But he didn't care about that, letting the ice princess freeze, and sped away. However, when he looked in the rearview mirror, she was surrounded by some guys. They asked if she was alone and if she needed a bodyguard. By any chance, if she made them happy, they would even do it for free. She got angry and said if they touched her one more time, she would call the police. The guys laughed in her face and said the angrier she got, the more fun it was. However, they stopped laughing when she kicked one in the balls. She turned and ran, leaving the guy in agony. He told his friends to capture her, who was already fleeing. Looking back, she was confident she could outrun them, but there were too many of them. However, suddenly she ran into Chen Yuan, who asked if she was okay. She was curious to see him, but now the guys had already surrounded them both. The guy who had been kicked told his friends to capture her quickly. She thought that men were indeed bastards, and now she was trapped because she bumped into this damn Chen Yuan. But he warned the guys they had 2 minutes to get out of there. The guy with the mohawk asked what would happen if they didn't leave. Sometime later, everyone was lying beaten on the ground. Chen Yuan wiped his hands, saying he had given advice. He turned to Bing-su and asked if she was okay, but he lost 5 favorability points. The poor guy was in disbelief. He was now at -95 after saving her. She was glaring at him with fiery eyes. He had no idea how this happened. She asked him if he thought she was amazed at how he was acting like that. Did he think such a trick would work on her? She was waiting for a car when some gangster showed up, and he saved her. Clearly, he had orchestrated everything. Not only did she underestimate his intelligence, but he also underestimated hers. She grabbed him by the collar and said that Kiki was willing to give up the president's position just to be with a guy who deceived everyone just to be with her. She turned and said that trash like him made her even angrier. Chen Yuan was in disbelief that she invented this whole story. What madness was this? He called after her, saying he would explain, but she said she didn't want any explanations and just hoped he wouldn't use such a trick again. Our boy was left there not knowing what to do, and the guys were getting up from the ground. He vented his anger on the guy who was waking up. With that, he left, cursing everyone, in disbelief that such a thing happened, until his phone rang, and he wondered who was calling. It was Royo from her presidential bed. She wanted to know if he was free tomorrow. He wanted to know why, and she said she was free and wanted to watch a movie with him. But now, things got complicated for the guy because he had already planned a movie with the president. Before he could respond, She said it was the first time she had invited someone like this and just hoped he wouldn't reject her. Please. So he devised a devious plan. He would have one movie in the morning and one at night. The next morning, his friend sent him a message wanting to talk to him. When he met his friend, he explained that he had bought tickets to watch with a girl, but got stood up and wanted Chen Yuan to accompany him. Unfortunately, there was a friend he couldn't refuse because when he was poor, his friend was always there. The plan was to watch with the friend at 2:00 p.m., with Kiki at 5:00 p.m., and with Royo at 8:00 p.m. He knew this wouldn't be an easy day. Suddenly, he looked to the side and was startled by a crazy girl. There was a girl putting on makeup inside his car. Out of nowhere, she apologized, saying she was distracted with her makeup and accidentally got in without noticing. He said that since she had regained her senses, she could get out, but she said that maybe she had entered by accident, but found the right person in her mind. She wouldn't miss this chance and asked for his contact because she felt a connection. But with his phone in hand, he said he didn't have a phone, clearly not wanting to give a chance to the stranger. She said it was fine, then she would get out of the car. As she was leaving, the guy outside recognized her and asked what she was doing there. Chen Yuan and the girl recognized him as Li Weenie, a friend of Chen Yuan who they were going to the cinema with, and he asked why she was getting out of the car. Did the two of them have something going on? Chen Yuan was worried his friend would get the wrong idea. He got out of the car and tried to explain to his friend, but his friend got angry at the girl and told her he was sure she saw his friend driving a luxury car and threw herself at him. Chen Yuan confirmed that was exactly what happened. They locked the car and left. She was in disbelief at Li Weenie, knowing such rich people. While they were watching the movie, a friend asked him why he couldn't get any women. He was so unlucky. Chen Yuan told him not to worry too much about it. Two girls behind them said they were strange for watching a movie together like that. Chen Yuan then told his friend that he should never expose his needs. He explained that the more you chase after women, the worse they will treat you. A real man doesn't spend his money on women, but on himself to impress women. That's what he said. And his friend was impressed, saying he had heard a confession from the gods. He grabbed Chen Yuan's hand and said he really understood how things work now. Chen Yuan told him to be careful. People might think the wrong things. He explained that to attract more women, you just had to be a bit more handsome, a bit richer, and have a few more girlfriends. That's how it works. His friend was frustrated with these obviously impractical tips. As they left the cinema, his friend thanked him, and Chen Yuan said he had a favor to ask in about 2 hours. The girls behind them left, convinced they were a couple. All part of Chen Yuan's plan to escape and go on a dangerous adventure. In front of the cinema, someone was waiting. It was Kiki, wanting to know where Chen Yuan was. Suddenly, a guy named Wu Banzi appeared, asking if she could give him her contact info. She apologized, saying she was on a date. But the guy insisted, saying her date wouldn't be interrupted by giving her number. Suddenly, someone tapped him on the shoulder. It was Chen Yuan, saying he would show how it's done. He put his hand beside her and asked if they could have a deep conversation somewhere with fewer people. The guy wondered if this kind of harassment would actually work, but she responded affirmatively, and the guy was fuming with disbelief. They were watching an action movie, and Kiki kept glancing to the side. She asked if he wasn't interested in the movie since he was always on his phone. He tried to explain that it was some family business that had been troubling him a lot lately. She believed him, imagining that to have so much money, he must have many problems. His life was different. People only see his extraordinary skills but don't see the countless drops of sweat he sheds while practicing every day. He had been training tirelessly since childhood. He should be training for his future now, but here he was, being monopolized by her. Okay. Suddenly, she placed her hand on his, and he was startled. When he looked over, she was crying. Wondering why she was so emotional, as they left the cinema and walked down the street, she asked if he wanted to recommend something. But just as he was about to answer, he received a call. He had asked his friend to call right after the movie so he could escape. He answered and asked what it was, changing his expression. He said it was something very serious, and he had to handle it now. His friend was confused, as was Kiki. He then told her his friend had some problems and he had to go help. She said it was okay, that it was fine for today.
As he left, she thought he was a very decent man for giving up time with a woman to help his friends.
In the car, Chen Yuan was thinking he was a genius. Now he just had to win the last challenge. He arrived in front of her apartment and informed her he was downstairs, while thinking he would never do this kind of thing again. His life was worse than a battlefield. Someone called him, and the girl appeared casually, asking if he had waited long. Our boy was smitten, saying she looked stunning. She really was a treasure among women and could look good in any style. She asked if he was ready to leave, and he said, "Let's go," while thinking that if things went well, they could take it to the next level. They went to the cinema, then to a restaurant, and the night passed. They were back home, and as he was leaving, she told him to rest well and said she enjoyed the night. But he asked her to wait. Could he come inside to get a glass of water? She seemed very happy to accept. The scene shifted to him taking a shower, while she wondered why she had done such a thing. She thought he just wanted a glass of water, but after he arrived, he said it was too late to leave, and she allowed him to stay. She couldn't believe she accepted that. What would she do if he asked for more? But it wouldn't be impossible. Then she saw something in his pocket. When she took it out, it was the tickets for all the movies he had watched today. Our guy was caught in fork. He came out of the shower saying he was ready, but was startled when he saw the tickets on the table. She then wanted to know what that meant. Either he was a movie addict or he was dating a lot of women. Why did he want to get involved in her life just to be with other women? Chen Yuan couldn't say anything while she berated him, saying he just played with her emotions. -20 favorability points, as she told him to leave. Now, he was down to 75. He was trembling, thinking he had seen this coming. He then told her that he never thought she trusted him so little. In a few movie tickets, everything he did for her went down the drain. Angrily, she said he still had the nerve to make excuses. He called Wayne and told her to talk to him and ask what they did today. Wayne answered, asking why he was calling so late. Royo picked up the phone and asked him if he went to watch a movie with Chen Yuan today. Wayne said yes. He had invited a girl, but she declined, so they went together. But he snapped to reality with a name he heard and asked how this happened. She half ignored him and angrily hung up the phone, saying it was all settled now. She was confused, not knowing if he was telling the truth or if his friend was lying to her. She had the number of the girl he said he was going to the cinema with, so she decided to check. When the girl answered, she said yes. The guy had asked her to watch a movie, but she declined until a guy in a Ferrari showed up. Chen Yuan asked her if she wanted to check his cards to see what he bought. He turned, saying he was very disappointed. She said there must have been a misunderstanding and asked for forgiveness, but he slammed the door. Outside, he thought he had managed to get out of that situation. The guy doesn't lie much. She sent a message on her phone and he said it was okay. He understood and forgave her. She felt relieved, thinking he was very kind, and her favorability rose by 21 points. Now, he relaxed. Her favorability went up again, luckily by 1 point more than before. He realized he needed to be more careful since he almost ruined everything. He needed to keep in mind that certain connections are just for gaining points and status, while others are for fun and joy. If he got the system for revenge, he would build a harem. Some girls passed by him, commenting that they were going to watch something. He seemed to recognize the name and decided to take a look as well. The court was packed with people. The girls were all excited, cheering and saying they loved them. On the side were Shang and her friend, who suddenly teleported next to Chen Yuan. He greeted the famous shill, but someone touched his shoulder. When he turned, it was Xing, asking if he liked basketball. The guys seeing this were all envious, saying Chen Yuan was a lucky guy. Suddenly, B3 appeared, saying that men love to talk behind women's backs. Kiki told her to relax, since they were just going to watch the game on the court. Xuan was worried, seeing Chen Yuan there again with a lot of girls surrounding him. What kind of disaster was this? But he saw Kiki and believed that this was his chance to shine. He had been practicing basketball for the past 6 months. It was time to humiliate this guy. He threw the ball in his direction. Chen Yuan sensed something coming and, in Spider-Man style, managed to catch it. He turned to the guy and said it was shameful to act that way, just because he lost in the piano competition. Suman said it didn't matter. If he wanted, he could come and compete in basketball. Our boy seemed to be losing his temper with the guy. He threw the ball back, saying he would play. Then, Suman decided to catch it, but the throw was too strong, and he was knocked back. Kiki was impressed by the power, while Bisu commented that men are all savages who know nothing but. The poor guy was lying on the ground with his friends asking if he was okay. He couldn't believe that Chen Yuan was that strong. Chen Yuan was that strong. Chen Yuan said he wasn't interested in a 1-on-1 match. Why not have a 5-on-5 to see the school's level? Everyone was shocked and couldn't believe he had called for it. Xuan knew he had the school team, the coach on his side, and the crowd. This was more like a 1-on-none, and he was sure he would win. The game started, and he received the ball. He was confident he would humiliate Chen Yuan and finally make Kiki recognize who was better. Chen Yuan was surrounded not only by enemies, but by his teammates as well. But he knew very well that this would happen. Who needs a team when you have the system? With that, he added 30 more years of basketball experience. Xuan continued to be confident, thinking it was time to show his skill. He jumped to dunk the ball, but suddenly Chen Yuan appeared and blocked it easily. Everyone froze in disbelief that the poor guy was defeated so easily. It was one play, and the guy was already psychologically shaken. Chen Yuan said it was his turn now, but the referee blew the whistle, saying it was a foul. With that, Xuan took a free throw and scored a point, thinking Chen Yuan was an idiot. Since everyone was on his side, there was no way he could lose. But the school crowd was starting to notice something was wrong. It was shameful to call the referee for something like this. And Chen Yuan was getting angry. Now he was motivated to end this guy. The game resumed, and he stole the ball. He went and scored a basket. The poor guys hadn't even moved from their spots. Xuan scolded his team for not being able to block one guy. He even cursed Chen Yuan's team for not stopping him. Once again, they tried to surround him, but he jumped and scored another. The referee and the players didn't understand why Chen Yuan was trying so hard. Clearly, the game was rigged for him to lose, so why didn't he just give up? The referee started to remember what he had taught his students about respect and how, when entering a court, you should always give your all. Seeing Chen Yuan trying so hard left everyone in the basketball community emotional. Chen Yuan advanced once more, not understanding why everyone was standing still. People couldn't figure out what was happening on the court. It seemed like no one else was moving. From afar, Kiki said he was winning the game and maintaining his virtues. Xuan couldn't understand why no one was following his plans anymore. The score was now 60-2. Xuan was exhausted, and Chen Yuan was advancing once again to humiliate him. At that moment, he thought that if he at least defended this one, he wouldn't be so embarrassed. Chen Yuan approached. He jumped, and Xuan threw his elbow into his chest. But it was his arm that got broken. He fell to the ground, writhing in pain, and Chen Yuan slammed the dunk. With that, he gained points with Kiki. He gained points with Xuan. He gained points with Shuo. He gained points with Shui. He gained points with Cheyenne. As he was leaving, Xuan realized he didn't deserve to be the team captain. It really insulted his skills to have to compete with someone so dirty. Xuan told Chen Yuan to stop being arrogant, saying he would soon regret it. Some girls said they even forgot to record because he was so incredible. Seeing that, Jian wanted to know where Chen Yuan was. She wanted to give him a bottle of water. But Kiki also wanted to give him a bottle of water. However, all four were holding water bottles, with liquid spilling. Chen Yuan fled, sweating nervously. Choosing which bottle to drink the nectar from could make him lose all the others. He took a shower after the game and received a friend request from someone in the group of rich people. The guy called him, and Chen Yuan asked what was up. The guy said it was nothing much. He just wanted to know if the boy wanted a wife. Chen Yuan was skeptical about this offer. The next target was named Goddess Lin Shutong, a 22-year-old actress. Her career was going very well, but she got involved in an online scandal, and the company ended her contract. The guy who called him in the group was Gang, her brother, who was asking for Chen Yuan's help. Chen Yuan asked if he was hearing correctly. Did Gang want him to marry his sister? Gang clarified that it wasn't exactly like that. He said it somewhat casually. It's just that his sister was falsely accused, and now her contract was terminated. So he wanted to know if Chen Yuan would like to buy the house she lives in. Chen Yuan thought he really needed to buy a house for himself. But considering she's an actress, she must love spending money, which would make her a perfect target for the system. He then told Gang Lang to arrange for him to meet his sister and see the house. Gang Lang said he would arrange everything. Now, thinking the group never lies, Chen Yuan thought, Mr. Yan is truly incredible. It seems the rumor that he saved the Shah family isn't a lie. At the house, Go was furious. Obviously, now that her career was going downhill, a bunch of guys were offering to marry her. But she didn't want any of that trash. None of them deserved a beauty like hers. All she wanted was to be a simple actress. Why did everything have to be so difficult? She then received a call. It was her brother, telling her not to worry about money anymore. He had found the perfect person. She was a bit confused about who it was, and her brother explained that it was a very influential guy that recently appeared. Hearing the name Mr. Yan, she already imagined a rundown fat guy. With that, she berated her brother, saying that when he got home, he would get beaten. The brother tried to explain that he was an incredible guy and that she should show him the house, as he was arriving soon. She hung up angrily, saying all men were the same, a real disaster. With her hands to the sky, she swore that even if she had to jump off a building, she wouldn't accept a cent from this man. In front of the house, Chen Yuan was impressed with the structure, and it wasn't very far. He rang the doorbell, and she thought the old man had come running like a desperate fool. She walked slowly down the hallway, just to annoy him. She opened the door, saying she came running for him to stop being annoying, but she blushed as soon as she saw Chen Yuan. Introducing himself, before she could ask who he was, he entered, apologizing. She was impressed that the boss was so young and handsome. He sat on the sofa and told her she could sit too. She was a bit confused as it was her house. She asked if he didn't want to see more of the house, and he said he had seen enough to know it was a good house. After all, that's not why he was there. She wanted to know why. Then he said the most important thing was her, and he wanted her to be his mistress. The boy was bold, activating the system wildly. Gon's appearance was 9.2, but his favorability dropped by 35. Chen Yuan thought this time he wouldn't waste time. He would go on the offensive. But hearing this, she wasn't pleased. The guy came in, asked her to be his mistress, and she would have to humiliate him. She said he was very direct, but it wasn't impossible if he accepted some conditions first. A car worth 10 million, an amazing apartment, and he had to invest 2 billion in 2 films where she would be a lead actress. Before she finished, he said that was very little. It seemed simpler than he thought. She was in disbelief. Obviously, the boy would like it. He was eager to spend all the system's money. Returning home, Goang was shocked. Chen Yuan's car was still there. Why hadn't he left? He entered the room and asked his sister why the expensive car was still there. Despondent, she said she actually got it as a gift from him. Besides that, he deposited a lot of money into her account. The brother then asked if everything went well with the house sale, and if she at least got the 2 million. Showing her phone, she said she got 1 billion. The boy's eyes sparkled, imagining that Chen Yuan really liked his sister. Finally, he could retire and become an uncle who only smoked cigarettes. Goang couldn't forget about Chen Yuan. He handed over the money, said he transferred the card to her name, and left saying he had other things to do. He only came to help her because he didn't like seeing beautiful women suffer. Wow, what a hero. With that, she couldn't forget the boy. She thought he wasn't so bad after all, and her favorability kept rising. At Bingu's graduation, she warned Kiki to be careful with Chen Yuan. Kiki tried to explain that Chen Yuan wasn't what she thought, but Bisu was clearly determined to hate the guy. She then revealed to her that on her birthday, he orchestrated some gangsters just to try and win her over. Kiki said it seemed like she had a very troubled mind. Chen Yuan was a hero that everyone at school liked, showing a photo of Shui and her dad holding a poster. Not to mention that, on her birthday, he had no idea she was going there, so it was impossible that he had set everything up. Bisu started to question if she had really misunderstood things. Was she exaggerating with her paranoia? With that, she left without saying anything to Kiki. Now, Bisu felt embarrassed, thinking she had been mistaken in her romantic delusion. Back at work, she was exhausted. She was dying of shame because she had told her friend that her boyfriend was hitting on her, when, in fact, he wasn't. Not to mention that every time she remembered the incident, the only thing that came to mind was Chen Yuan protecting her. Suddenly, her boss called her for a meeting, waking her up to reality. He informed her that there would be a charity dinner with the city's top businessmen. The boss wanted her to go and become friends with a certain Yang, a millionaire who had recently appeared. Bingsu felt sad. She had joined a company with a female boss to avoid this kind of thing, but she accepted. It was that or lose her job. Back at home, Chen Yuan was talking with the guys from the millionaire group. After he gave infinite money to Goang, she had been able to defend herself against the false accusation, and Chen Yuan was impressed with how well she handled things. On the other end of the phone was Chang K, inviting him to the charity dinner. Thinking that it would only be rich people, he knew he could find a way or someone to spend a lot of money on, so of course he would go. At Go's mansion, Renan was doing her best to defend herself from the accusations, but it wasn't easy. Every time she needed more money to invest in marketing, she received a transfer from our boy. She tried to convince herself that it was nothing. He wasn't winning her over like that, but favorability doesn't lie. The day of the charity dinner arrived. Of course, all the millionaires that our boy had humiliated were present, from the bar guy to the basketball guy. Swan said he was going to the bathroom. He knew the new magnate of the group would be at that party, and he had researched a lot to get close to this person. He knew it would be someone elegant and sophisticated, an elder with advanced vision. So, he stood at the door, wanting to be the first to meet this person. But suddenly, he saw Chen Yuan arriving and wondered why he was there dressed as security. The poor guy had actually spent 20,000 on that suit, really only used to spending the system's money. But he was startled. The security guards were indeed wearing the same suit as him. Xuan went to speak to him, calling him the Prince of Basketball, and asked if he was so broke that he came there to work as security. But Chen Yuan said that wasn't the case, and that he was invited to the banquet. Xuan responded that they could enter together then, thinking he was lying and wouldn't have his name on the list. At the entrance, the security asked him to show the invitation, and Chen Yuan was confused. He hadn't received any invitation. Xuan encircled him, laughing, saying he was ridiculous for really coming there, pretending like the Sue arriving for work. All the guys blushed upon seeing her. She thought she didn't like arriving in a luxurious car, but unfortunately it was part of the company's plan. She heard some commotion on the side and looked to see Chen Yuan and the security guard. He was already getting angry, saying he didn't have an invitation, but he was sure he was invited. A security guard said everyone who was invited received something at home. Bingsu laughed in his face, asking if he really thought he was that important. Suddenly she appeared and said that each card allowed bringing a guest, so he was hers. The guard accepted without a word, while Chen Yuan was confused as to why she was helping him since she hated him. She turned and told him to hurry up, saying her perception of him hadn't changed. She just owed him a favor. She just owed him a favor. She understood that on that night, he really did save her, and that's all. But Chen Yuan didn't like this. He was about to make a call to humiliate Xuan, and now she had ruined everything. He then told her that she shouldn't consider this repaying the favor. He didn't ask to be her lackey. It would be better if she stopped meddling in other people's business and just left a like on the video to help Mamoru make more juicy content for his viewers. Part 3 is on the way, so activate the cheeky little notification. Remember that the last chapter ended with Chen Yuan being barred from entering the rich people's event. Bingsu arrived and told him to come in as her companion, but he shouldn't get the wrong idea. She was just repaying her debt. Chen Yuan hated this. He wanted to flaunt his wealth and make everyone jealous. He said he was officially invited and wouldn't be her slave in this place. He warned her to stop meddling in other people's business. Bingsu was furious. She had exposed herself just to help this bastard, and now he humiliated her. The copy-paste extras said it was better this way, since this loser would never enter a place like that. The blonde guy told Chen Yuan that this was the nobles' area, and he shouldn't come here dressed like a security guard. All of this was fueling Chen Yuan's anger. Then one of the group's members went to see who was causing such a commotion. He noticed that Tang Xuan, the blonde guy, was trying to humiliate the cigarette soldier. He got worried, saying this would cause trouble, and called Hien. Meanwhile, inside the event, a man in a suit named Tang Ogi was eager to meet the so-called Mr. Smoke. The car guy said Chen Yuan was eccentric. And even though he was very rich, they always treated each other like brothers. Then he got a call saying Chen Yuan was being humiliated and barred outside. He was shocked, asking how they dared to do this to a special guest. The person on the phone said the one barring him was Tang Xuan, who was from the family of the guy next to him. He ran out, saying this bastard was ruining their family. Meanwhile, outside, Xuan continued to humiliate Chen Yuan, saying he looked good as a security guard. Chen Yuan slapped him and told him to take his effeminate hand away and stop trying to give orders. He whispered that even if they were comrades, Xuan had no qualifications for that. Xuan spread his arms, boasting that his brother was incredible with billions in company funds. As the illustrious second son of the Tang family, he was definitely better than any security guard. Watching all this, Bing-su thought Xuan was full of himself, but still better than the disgusting Chen Yuan, who had refused her kindness. At that moment, everyone recognized Ogi approaching with a car guy. People noticed he wasn't happy. She asked what he could do for his big brother, only to be slapped in the face. He staggered, asking why he was being beaten. Ogi said he was bold to ask and told him to apologize to Mr. Smoke, or better yet, to the great Mr. Yuan. Xuan was confused, not understanding. Ogi approached him and sincerely asked him to accept his apologies. Everyone realized then that Chen Yuan was no small deal. People started wanting to hand him their business cards and befriend him. Xuan was devastated. He lost at piano, he lost at basketball, and now he lost in family background. Was this guy his arch enemy? Hosen also apologized to Chen Yuan, saying he planned poorly, but should have at least been notified of his arrival time. Chen Yuan said they were friends and Hosen didn't need to worry about those details. Then he was guided into the event. Bing-su was impressed because Chen Yuan really seemed to have a lot of money but didn't flaunt it. She knew that someone with such status would be chased by all the girls at the university. Now, she felt ashamed for being so presumptuous and thinking he was following her. She covered her face, wondering how she would complete the mission her boss had given her, especially since the guy she had to talk to was called the Smoke Soldier. She started to wonder if she would have to use her physical appearance. Meanwhile, inside the charity auction, Hosen said there would be jewels, paintings, and even pieces of an island. Chen Yuan was impressed, and the guy said it was all too.
Support the auction. Our guy now had the face of a crazy psychopath, eager to spend money buying a piece of land in the middle of the city to build something which surely cost a lot. The problem is, as always, he has to give it to some woman to get a share. Later, he starts thinking about Ru and Yu but then realizes Bingyu is right behind him. However, he decides to abandon the idea because every time he tries to please her, he gets rebuffed. At that moment, a guy stands up exclaiming how amazing it is to see her there. The blonde Gwenon whom our guy had given a mansion to, looking strong and healthy. Seeing her from afar, the psychopathic Chen Yu thought of buying everything in the place and giving it to her. He also found the seating arrangement interesting. It seemed that the more important the person, the closer they were to the front. That's when he recognized that the name of the person beside him belonged to someone extremely important in the city. Apparently, the cigarette soldier was highly respected there. Then someone sat down, and who do you think it was? Of course it was a girl with extremely high potential, and she probably had her blood tests up to date. People around commented that she was the daughter of Secretary Shu. Our eavesdropping boy just listened. He blushed and got flustered, realizing she was not only the daughter of a big boss but also healthy and strong. However, he turned to the side, embarrassed and nervous, though he didn't know why. Oi went over to introduce himself to her, saying it was a pleasure to meet her. Obviously, the rascal was already thinking about forming an alliance or even marrying the woman. She recognized his name, and said it was a pleasure to meet him too. However, she was already thinking about how much she hated attending these events. Her father forced her to, but she was curious to know who the boy next to her was, since usually those seats were filled with old men. She tried to talk to Chen Yuan, who pretended not to hear, turning to the side. She was confused, wondering why she was being avoided like the plague. Was she that scary? Chen Yuan was terrified of starting a conversation and having the system create a bond with her. However, she kept pestering him, saying it was rude not to even say his name. Hosen then told Chen Yuan that he should pay more attention. She was none other than the secretary's daughter. He offered to help if Chen Yuan was unwilling. Our boy turned around and introduced himself immediately. The system started its operation. Chen Yumo, 22 years old, 1.73 m tall, 54 kilos, 9.1 appearance, and 0 in favorability. The counterattack gives 10% of what he spends, 35 points, and mastery with firearms. But our boy was devastated. This damn system screwed him again. Upon hearing the name, she said she would remember this, Chen Yuan. With that the auction began. The first item was a replica of the Titanic necklace made with diamond and platinum. Someone immediately offered 20 million. The girls were all fretting, saying they needed to receive that from their fathers or they would die. The bids kept increasing to 130, 150 million. Then Chen Yuan raised the paddle and said he would pay 3 billion. People were impressed with his audacity. Chen Yuan thought that he seemed to control his own money. No father would let their son spend that much. The old men were fuming with this type of bidding. The guy had increased the value many times over. The auctioneer asked if anyone would top the cigarette soldier's bid of 105 million. People were seething with anger but no one wanted to say anything. With that the gavel was struck and the sale was finalized. When it came time to process the payment, he said it was a gift for Miss Goman and should be delivered to her. Everyone heard this, and her favorability immediately increased by 10. Her brother immediately said the gift she was about to receive was incredible. Favorability kept rising. The poor girl knew he was doing this just to mess with her, but unfortunately she couldn't resist, and her favorability was already at 35. She got angry, saying she couldn't be swayed by such things. She was a woman with dreams and aspirations. She made a dark face, asking if Chen Yuan really thought he could win her over with money. She was showing how formidable she could be. At that moment, the woman brought out the second item for sale. Who would he give this to? It was a crystal piano. The announcer said the bidding would start at 30 million. Someone offered 35 million, and another 40 million, and another 45 million. Of course Chen Yuan raised it to 200 million. He thought this would be the perfect gift for Miss Kiki. Then from the background, someone said they would offer 210 million. He looked back and saw a mage carrying 2 fire spheres. He recognized her as the heir to the fire group, and the owner of several gaming industries. He then raised the bid to 300 million, and she increased it to 310 million. He gave her a hard look and raised it to 500 million. The old men were all crying. Even the auctioneer was angry with this kid. He then asked if anyone would top Mr. Cigarette's offer. The item was sold to him, and she was fuming. The guy thanked him for supporting the city's philanthropy so generously. The woman from the fire group admitted she was defeated, but said buying a piano just to show off without knowing how to play was foolish. Chen Yuan asked why she thought he couldn't play. He stood up and said he would perform on the musical instrument. Of course the rascal was confident, since he had 60 years of mastery. As soon as he started playing, the girls were moved. This time they really cried. Their eyes lit up as they said his music was nectar to their ears. Everyone in the hall was moved, reminiscing about their lives. Chen Yumo, who also had some professional techniques, wanted to add him. Chen Yuan noticed she was starting to like him. However, he seemed uninterested, and bluntly said he forgot his phone. But this psychopath loved being rejected and gained another 30 points. He wondered why he only encountered crazy people these days. She extended her hand and said it didn't matter that he forgot. He could just give her his number, and she would write it down. He apologized, saying he had a poor memory. She replied that she would send someone to investigate his number. They stood there staring at each other. After realizing he had no way out, he said he was defeated, and would add her. She said she always knew he had his phone, but was just trying to mess with her. The crazy girl thought that good things never fall into your lap. If you want something good you have to go after it. At that moment, the auctioneer announced they would be selling failing companies. Chen Yuan's eyes lit up. The woman then announced a streamer company that had recently faced some problems and shut down. The bid started at 50 million, probably the one Chen Yuan tricked the fool into losing, and he immediately offered 60 million. Our boy was confused as to why no one wanted to compete with him. However, everyone was thinking the same thing. The bastard would triple the value. The presenter said Mr. Chen Yuan was trying to take everything from this place. Was no one willing to make an offer? He struck the gavel 3 times, and it was sold. He then announced he hoped Mr. Chen Yuan could rebuild this company and restore it to its former glory. However, one of the guys there had received information about Chen Yuan and was eager to wipe that smile off his face. He went to the corner of the room and told someone to give him all the details to bring this kid down. He discovered that our boy was 21 years old and came from Hue province. His parents collected oranges and had a pond. The guys looked up all the schools he attended, from high school to university, but the hacker revealed that the bank account he used was a global VIP type. Less than 50 people in the world have access to that type of card, usually used for transactions between countries. The old man wondered what kind of joke this was. A farm boy had a card that only country leaders had. He was sure even the hacker's information was being manipulated. He realized Chen Yuan had enough influence to alter even government records, and told the hacker to stop investigating this dangerous guy. AI saw the guy investigating Chen Yuan and discovered something that scared him. He wondered if Chen Yuan was really a descendant of a secret family. However, the guy was a gossip, like an old woman with nothing better to do, and started spreading the news. Soon everyone thought Yuan came from the secret Chen Yu family, one of the 4 hidden families throughout China, with worldwide influence. The guys were babbling like idiots, saying the world was about to face a storm. Even Hosen was uneasy, saying only a dynasty could have such finances. Meanwhile, Chen Yuan was walking around thinking about who spread this rumor since his father was just a fruit seller. At that moment, many were surrounding our boy. Some handed him their room numbers, others invited him to dance. One even said she could do a backflip, and asked if he wanted to see. Our boy was shy, not knowing what to do. While people danced, he was being dragged around. That's when he noticed Chen Yuan walking in from afar, and realized she was his escape from this situation. He told everyone he already had a dance partner waiting for him. He approached Chen Yuan, and asked her for a dance. She was embarrassed, wondering if she should refuse because he might take advantage. However, he gave her the necklace, so it would be rude to make him lose face, and she reluctantly agreed. He pulled her in, saying he wanted to enjoy the moment since he had turned down 18 others just to be with her. The rascal used the system to receive a specialization in dance skills. She was moved, saying he danced well and his hand was warm. She thought he always surprised her but didn't find it unpleasant, and was even starting to like it. Boy, all that effort just to gain 5 favorability points. This is tough. Everyone in the hall was talking about the two of them. Chen Yuan found it strange that he wanted to get involved with that girl considering her scandals, but at least he wasn't swayed by that swarm of killer spiders. Of course, she was angry that he rejected her and asked Chen Yuan instead. The same fool from before came to ask if he could dance with her. She told him to buzz off because she wasn't interested in old men. The poor guy was called old at 30, and felt crushed. Chen Yuan was happy he managed to gain at least 5 points with this dance. Then someone came and called him, saying they wanted to dance before he left. The guy who had been rejected earlier was furious at this brat. But our boy was very Sigma, and said he was unfortunately exhausted from the last dance. She said it was fine and asked what he wanted to know about her. Our boy was impressed with her resilience to rejection. Since that was the case, he suggested they could talk in the corner. She kept poking him, asking if the actress was his girlfriend, to which he replied, no. The psycho got excited, thinking if the relationship wasn't established, she had a chance. Then she asked if he knew about the scandal she had been involved in. He said he didn't care, since her image would soon be clean because he was supporting her. She asked how much money he had spent on her. He said that unfortunately, she had asked for too little, so he only gave some luxury cars, a mansion and 2 $500 million movies. Chen Yuan created a story in her head, thinking Chen Yuan was being deceived. It seemed he had grown up isolated to refine his skills, and that was why Gowan was using him to drain all his money. She then asked Chen Yuan if he didn't think her demands were too high. Uninterested, he said it was natural for a man to spend money on a woman, which was why he had transferred the 200 million. She grabbed him by the tie, saying he was being deceived and abused by her. Not to mention they hadn't even confirmed the relationship. She calmed herself, saying that in the end it was his money, but he would pay the price for it. Roy said he wasn't being made a fool like that. However, Yumon could only think that a lover always makes the worst decisions. Remembering when he was playing the piano and making bids for her, she thought it was unbelievable that such a talented man was still so innocent. The favorability kept rising and reached 45. Chen Yuan knew very well that she thought he was being exploited by Gowan, but little did she know that in the end, he would be the one winning. He made a villainous grin on his face, saying she didn't yet know the skills of the big brother. He turned to her and told her not to speak ill of Go-on anymore, saying her behavior was very much like the behavior she wanted to judge. She was devastated and stood up angrily to leave, thinking she had a better background, appearance and personality than that actress. She left motivated, saying that Chen Yuan should just wait. Soon she would get him too, since she always got what she wanted in life. Chen Yuan was worried, saying that next time he would keep as much distance from this woman as possible. At the end of the event, everyone wanted to keep in touch with the boy. While he was on his phone, Hosen approached, introducing a new friend, Joe XY. Joe was very shy, and Hosen told him to lift his head and speak to Mr. Cigarette. Chen Yuan asked why Joe was so shy, and why he had brought him there. Joe stammered as he explained that his family was selling a giant skyscraper building. Chen Yuan got excited and asked him to elaborate. Joe explained that it had more than 10 floors, 1,000 square meters per floor, and a total value of 2 billion. Even Hosen was shocked, not knowing his chubby friend was a billionaire. Chen Yuan then said to add him, as he would come to check it out someday. Joe was a bit awkward, thinking Chen Yuan would want at most 1 or 2 floors, but it seemed he wanted the whole thing. Joe left, telling him not to sell it to anyone else, and the guy agreed. In the taxi, Chen Yuan was thinking about who he would give a $2 billion building to. It couldn't be a regular girl, or she'd collapse. It had to be someone with very high mental resilience. The taxi sped up, and he hit his face. The driver stepped out and told the woman to get out of the way. Chen Yuan wondered what Bingu was doing there. She walked over, opened the door and got in with our boy, confusing everyone. She turned to the driver and told him to start driving. The poor driver had no choice. Roy was looking at her, wondering why she was there. Bingu was motivated. It was her first job after graduation, and she couldn't disappoint her boss. Chen Yuan, embarrassed, tried to be polite to her, thinking he had just gotten rid of that damn Yumo, and now he was stuck with the worst one. She said she was there as a representative of the Carpfish app, seeking an investment and claiming they already had millions of downloads. Yuan cut her off, asking if she was asking for help. She said it could be seen that way, but it was a win-win situation as they had great potential. Chen Yuan then asked if she was begging for his help. She said yes, she was begging for help, and asked him to stop. Almost crying, she wondered why he was using money to humiliate her like this. Now the rascal was satisfied, finally she was yielding. But he knew exactly what she disliked and approached, saying that if she came seeking something, she should offer something in return. He asked if she understood what he meant. Even the taxi driver thought he was a disgusting jerk. However, Bingu slapped him, telling him to get off, saying that's why he didn't deserve Kiki. The 10 favorability points he had gained went down to -5. He moved to the side, saying he had no intention of sleeping with her. He was just provoking but admitted he didn't like cold women like her. She got even angrier and told him to stop joking around. Our boy replied that he wasn't very interested, they had only met twice, and she was asking him to invest in her company. Besides, she had disrespected him last time and never even apologized. He snapped, telling her to disappear, saying she brought humiliation upon herself, and ordered the taxi driver to stop. But that's when Chen Yuan noticed his troubles had only just begun. The taxi was surrounded by 3 vans. Unfortunately, it wasn't a bunch of women but a group of strange men getting out of the cars. There was a gang of criminals apparently hunting him. Our boy realized the night wouldn't end well. Bingu asked what they would do. He replied that they would surrender, and that's it. The guys were excited. It seemed to be the idea of the auction man, who thought capturing someone so rich would be a good move. Chen Yuan said that with such affection he was willing to benefit everyone there. The guy said that because he was so cooperative, they said they wouldn't tie him up too tightly, but then he got a kick to the neck. He fell, and his friends wondered what kind of kick that was. Chen Yuan knew this time it was real criminals, not a bunch of high school kids, but with his elevated martial arts talent, it was just punches to the face. That's when one of them had the idea of using Bingu as a hostage, but she fought back too, putting one of the guys in a chokehold. The man lost a tooth, wondering what kind of cursed woman she was. Chen Yuan thought he had it under control, but with her involved, things had gotten dangerous. With no other option, he spent all the points he'd been accumulating. 10 in strength and constitution, and 20 in agility. Now even his system said he'd be extremely dangerous on a battlefield. Oh my god, the display of millions of punches was horrible, but it hit everyone's face. The leader ordered them to capture Bingu again, but she kneed him in the groin, saying many men needed to learn their place. Then the guy pulled out an apple peeler and lunged at her, saying she had to die. Bingu was scared, thinking her life was over, but someone grabbed the blade with his hand.
It was Chen Yuan,
Who said the habit of threatening women was shameful. Dropping to the floor as Bingu trembled, realizing she almost died, Chen Yuan kicked the guy, calling him disgraceful. Moments later, everyone was lying in red puddles. Bingu was mumbling incomprehensible things to herself. Then she jumped into Chen Yuan's arms, saying she almost died. That's when our boy realized the iceberg had an adorable side. Now the rascal told her not to worry, that he was there for whatever she needed. Those words he said in the taxi were just a joke. In reality, she was an incredible girl. She asked if that was true, and if he really thought that. Chen Yuan said she could trust him. He would visit the carpfish company she mentioned, because he believed in its potential. Now she was thinking that Chen Yuan was the opposite of other guys. He seemed cruel but was actually very kind. He acted shameless, but in the end he was a good guy. Despite coming from such an incredible family, he threw himself into danger to save her. Our boy said it was nothing, just a little scratch, but now it was too late. He gained a bunch of favorability points, shooting straight to 80. With that the police arrived and arrested the criminal. Someone beside him remarked that they hadn't seen him for hours, and he was already in trouble again. Chen Yuan asked why this person was there. Boy, it was Chen Yumo, who turned out to be an officer from the explosive squad, always carrying 2 spheres ready to blow. Our boy had beaten the guys so badly that some were lying wrapped in blankets on the asphalt. The officer reported that 1 was dead, and 7 were severely injured. It looked like a battlefield. Shumo was thinking that 8 bandits came to take him down, but the boy reversed the game. Now she was excited, saying it would be worth it considering his combat skills. Seeing Bingu staring at him, she was sure all the women were eyeing him. She got even angrier because every time she wanted to talk to him, she had to compete. She approached and said they both had to go to the station to recount everything that happened. Later at 3 a.m., an officer approached Bingu and told her she could go. She asked if Chen Yuan was coming too. The officer explained that unfortunately no, because Chen Yuan was being interviewed by the captain. Bingu said if that was the case, she would wait for him, and the officer said she could stay. Another officer found it strange because she seemed very eager to wait for the guy. The captain asked to turn off all the cameras for his interview. She wondered if the game was turning against the boy. Sitting in the chair, Chen Yuan wondered what Chen Yumo was planning. Someone opened the door and handed him some food. He ate the noodles, saying he never imagined she would be a police officer. He gained another 5 favorability points, and she said the possibilities were limitless. Our boy wondered why eating noodles increased the favorability. Then he asked why he, the victim of the attack, was being detained. She approached and said it seemed he was eager to escape her, but couldn't forget. He took a life today. She grabbed his chin and asked what his relationship with Bingu was. Embarrassed, he said she came to talk to him about investing in a company, but out of nowhere the psycho started tearing everything apart. Our boy was beaten up and asked what she was thinking of doing. Respectfully, she pulled out a medical kit. If you thought otherwise, it's your loss, go seek help. She then told him to stop thinking nonsense, because she wasn't going to harm him. Seeing his dumbfounded face, she found it ridiculous that he really thought she would take advantage of him. He said he would never think such a thing, but our boy said she was a very busy woman, so he would take care of it himself. She told him to stay still because he was too clumsy, and would end up hurting himself more. Our boy realized he was being crushed, but noticed she was playing a game with him. He remembered well how girls had played this game with him in the past. They seemed to show care and attention at first, but in the end, he was always abandoned, humiliating himself by kissing their feet. Seeing Yumo as a devil, he was sure this was a trap for a Sigma man like him. He then got up and told her to keep her distance, because they had only known each other for a day. Yumo asked what he was talking about. Since she was just bandaging him, he said he wasn't mad, but told her she needed to understand that he had someone else he liked. He turned poetic, saying life is full of encounters, but unfortunately her time had passed. If it had been earlier, she might have had a chance. However, if he were the type to change his choice all the time, she wouldn't like him either. Obviously nothing works with this crazy girl, who now thinks he loves purely. She went crazy, and our boy ran straight to the taxi. But from above, the mad woman was just observing, thinking there was no way she would lose this guy to those other cursed women. Meanwhile, Bingu was sleeping at the police station. When Chen Yuan got home, he was exhausted. The day had been a mess, and he just wanted to sleep. However, when he entered he heard the sound of a shower. He saw a silhouette in the mist and thought the president liked testing his self-control. An angel told him to calm down, while the devil told him to go in. But an unknown girl came out of the shower, saying it was very comfortable there. She saw Chen Yuan, who was paralyzed, got scared, and screamed for help. A while later, she was crying to Kiki, saying she would never marry, because she had been seen. Chen Yuan, losing patience, said he was going to take a shower, but a friend was angry, saying that Rascal had seen everything, and had to apologize. Kiki tried to explain that he was a good friend, but Minguing found it strange that her friend was defending the guy, and wanted to know what was going on between them. She ran to Kiki, and told her to stop involving herself with losers like him, especially now that she lived in such a house, and was a streamer who received millions. She couldn't get involved with someone like him. Embarrassed, the president said her friend was thinking wrong. Chen Yuan was an extraordinary man. Kiki hadn't explained to her friend that the house wasn't really hers, but Minguing kept trash-talking Chen Yuan, saying that yesterday there was an auction, and a guy bought a bunch of stuff. Only that type of man should be with her. At that moment, someone knocked on the door, saying they had a delivery. Minguing asked what it was, and they replied it was a piano Chen Yuan had bought. The friend was sure it would be an old piano they brought, but strangely, there was a helicopter in front of the house. An armed battalion arrived in an armored car, and they wondered what kind of piano this was. A while later, it was in the middle of the living room, still covered. By now she was scared, wondering what kind of national treasure this was. Minguing got tired of waiting and pulled the cover off. She was blinded by the shine, obviously it was the crystal piano, and she was completely stunned. Minguing tapped it, and realized it was genuine, wondering if she was wrong about that guy. Then a news report about the auction was on TV, showing Chen Yuan being called the mysterious millionaire, who spent over 500 million. Poor Minguing was hit by a 500 million realization, and was in disbelief. Kiki turned and said she had told her that Chen Yuan was exceptional. At that moment, someone said the piano had arrived. Her expression changed as she saw our boy shining. He came down the stairs, saying it took longer than he thought. Now the crazy girl was thinking he was too handsome, going from 0 to 100. He asked Kiki if she liked it, and she said it was precious, maybe too much. He then mentioned he had a business meeting, and asked if she wanted to come along. Seeing her friend in the house, she didn't want to leave her alone, so she apologized and said she couldn't go today. Our boy left the house without worrying too much. At that moment, the system activated the link with Minguing, starting with 20 points. However, Chen Yuan didn't like this, as she was supposed to be Kiki's best friend. He would have to make her realize that her friend had eyes on her man. While Kiki played music happily, Minguing could only think about having a guy as handsome as him. But our boy doesn't know how to be poorly accompanied anymore, so he called Ruo to join him on the business trip. She was angry, as he had disappeared for days, and now called her for this kind of outing. She thought he had been distant lately, and wondered if it was because they hadn't done anything that night. Already angry, she said that all men seemed to be the same, and his favorability dropped to 95. Our boy from a distance wondered why he lost points without doing anything face to face. He wanted to know why he was losing points, and wondered if it was because he didn't pick her up from home. But our boy, being Sigma, ignored everything she was thinking, and just called the chubby guy to send someone to pick him up. He knew that if he started apologizing, it would only feed these pointless problems. His plan was to solve it with a good old system. Meanwhile, in that building, a guy was talking to his friend, asking if this Chen Yuan was really that amazing. It was the chubby guy's father who asked, and the boy replied that yes, he could be trusted. He was a very wealthy kid. The father said it seemed the boy was incredible, and was curious to meet him.